Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Games Done Quick Hotfix. We are live on this fabulous Wednesday. Thank you all so much for joining us. I am your guest host, Smooth Operative. I'm filling in for ADEF tonight, and you are watching Challenger Approaching, the show all about unique speedrun challenges and the runners brave enough to take them on. Tonight, we've got something very special planned for you, never before seen, with Super Meat Boy 106% Deathless. And here to show us exactly what that means, please welcome our guest runner, Shredberg.
Hi, how's it going, everybody? And I got on commentary with me, I got Fel.
Hello, I'm Fel.
Welcome.
All right, so is it just time to get started on this thing?
Yeah, well, I mean, tell us about Super Meat Boy, Shredberg. You know, this is quite a unique challenge, and I'm kind of wondering, what got you into Super Meat Boy speedrunning, and then what ultimately convinced you to take on such an infamous challenge?
Gotcha. Super Meat Boy speedrunning is one where it was like I had been tiptoeing around trying speedrunning for years since 2012. I was just like, oh, I'll try Super Mario 64 stuff, and tried Owlless, and I was like, oh, this is way too hard for me to do. I can't be a speedrunner. And then would try other things. It's like, this is too hard. And then I realized through just watching more people that it's like, oh, okay, it's not just that they were born like that, they actually have to practice it, So once I actually, got a brain, I was like, oh, you know what? I was watching GDQ 2018, and I was like, I just need to speedrun something. I need to do it. And this game had just come out on the Switch. So I was like, you know what? This seems like a fun game to speedrun. And I was correct. This is a great speedrun, especially to start out speedrunning and learn it, because it's the any percent is not super difficult. It's honestly really approachable, but it is difficult in the sense that you're going to have deaths all the way through it. For a long time. Honestly, actually, the world record in 90% has deaths. So for a speedrunning context, that's actually not a big deal, as long as you're going really fast and minimize them. So I had started that early 2018, and really there's other speedruns that I've done plenty. This is the only one that I've ever done for longer than just a couple months, though. And so got a good time I'm happy with in 90%, have a good time I'm happy with in 106, have a good time I'm happy with in some other categories, like all light levels, all dark levels, all those, which I'll explain what that means in a bit.
Sure.
And so it just felt like this was a natural extension, so that I didn't have to learn how to speedrun another game, basically, or do runs of another game. No, but it seemed like a good, tough one. People are always there's a all achievements speedrun of this, where you do the chapters deathless, but if you take a death, you just you need to beat. There's 20 chapters in each section of a chapter, and you just need to do all 20 in a row. And so it felt like a natural extension of that, and it's never been done before. My PB on it is 5 deaths, and so hopefully that can get lowered and get to 0 eventually.
Yeah, well, I'm very much looking forward to seeing what you have in store for us. So whenever you feel ready, Shredberg, we can get going.
Sounds good. Let's go. Here we're on the how to play thing. So if we hit a saw blade, we die. We have to get to Bandage Girl to save her from Dr. Fetus. And then also we collect these bandages, and then we can get mystery characters. So we're just going to go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Let's go.
Good luck. Let's go.
So one thing that does not teach you there is you actually have a jump button as well. So we're going to be running, we're going to be jumping. And with Meat Boy, that's honestly actually it. That's the only 2 mechanics, but there's a lot more to it than that. Right here, I'm going to do a thing called auto jump. Not really necessary on this level. It's mostly speed running type things that it's well, why not do it? So it doesn't help me on these levels prevent death, but in the future, auto jump probably will. I'll get back to that in a second, but right now we're in these warp zone levels. So these are I guess hidden levels, bonus levels, and they come in 3 levels. These are the only ones that give you lives. Normally have infinite lives as you're going across, but this one, it's just 3. For us, that doesn't matter at all, because we're not gonna die anyways. So it's not one to worry about, but when you're playing it casually, it is. And on this one, and many of the warp zones, there's bandages that we have to collect. There's 100 bandages in total, 20 per chapter. Each 10 bandages you grab, you get bonus characters. And that's actually important for this run, because there's quite a few characters that are really, really helpful. Some of them kind of hard to grab, like that one. You have to be pretty close to a saw blade. This next one right here have to sort of, these are dust blocks, so you have to get rid of just that one.
There's a few characters
for the most,
that just completely trivialize some levels later, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Nyjah. We'll see that one in the future. Very fun character, although that one is like, she can be really tough to get started and actually have the movement for. Right here, we're going to see one of the guest characters. One warp zone per chapter is for a guest character, and this one is Commander Video from the Bit Trip series. In the 106 speedrun is not used at all, which is really unfortunate. But in this one actually has, I think 2 levels that I use them in. So we'll see Commander Video back again. Honestly, kind of useful because when you hover up in the air, you can stay up in the air for that height for a pretty good amount of time. So it makes things very consistent, which this game has very fast movement. Another thing as well is I'm exiting to map here, and that's only because I kind of messed up, and I could have, done it correctly without dying. I'm pretty confident in that, but I just want to do all of these levels like the same way consistently. That way I'm not improvising and accidentally doing like a wrong movement or my judgment was a little bit wrong. So the way that deaths work in this game is you actually have to take a death. So you can like quit out to map or change your character anytime in these levels, and you're safe. And then another important thing to say is you'll see when I exit this level here, there's that grade A+. And so then you look at the top corner of the screen and it has that flag and then 9 seconds. So that's telling me that I need to beat that level in 9 seconds to get the A+ time. And the A+ time will unlock what's called the dark version of the level. And so this one right here, I'm doing a thing called timer glitch. So I pause the game, go to exit game. It tries to verify, oh, are you sure? And I say no. And so if you look at the top left corner there, the timer is stuck at 0. And so what that lets me do is grab this bandage here in however long I want. It doesn't matter how long it takes me. And I still get that A+ time because the game thinks that it didn't take me any time at all. So that's called timer glitch.
That's just so you don't have to replay the level, by the way, to grab the bandage and then replay it to get the A+.
That's exactly
Nice.
right. And so that for most of the levels that we're doing, actually I would say all of the levels, none of them are all too bad. None of the levels that I normally stress over. But most levels in this game, you're not going to have 100% confidence in that you'll beat, even if they're really easy. There's honestly only a handful where I would say like, oh yeah, I should never die on that. Or, there's some levels where it's basically impossible to die unless you glitch or your game lags a bunch. But reducing the amount of levels that you play, in theory, just makes you all that much more likely, even if it's just by, 0.5% likelihood.
Yeah, these deathless challenges are all about those, taking as little risks as possible. Every 95% like speedrun strat, you can turn it into a 100% strat just by doing something a little more cautious. Will save you a lot of time in the long run for sure.
And that's something too that has gotten me to be just a little bit like I'll be like stubborn and be like, when do I ever mess this up in a speedrun? And then I will die on this one and I'll be like, okay, no, I need to look a little bit harder into what I'm doing here.
The moment that you say that, it guarantees that you're going to die on it in the deathless attempt.
That's exactly right. So now we're facing the first boss. None of these bosses are really all too much of levels that I get scared of all too much. That doesn't mean that there's not a risk because this game is hard. There's saws all over the place, but this one's like an auto-scroller. Honestly, most of them are auto-scrollers or auto-scroller-esque. So we just get to the end of level and get to safety, and
the deathless light forests.
Yeah. There are 7 chapters in this game, and each of them have a light and dark. A few of them are shorter, but the first 5 all have 20 light levels, 20 dark levels. They have 4 warp zones, so that we did 3. We're going to get another one in Dark Forest. And then they have a thing called Glitch Girl. And so there's a random chance that each time I enter a level, Bandage Girl is going to look glitched out. And so that unlocks a bonus level. So it's RNG on whether or not it pops up. In the speedrun, that's kind of a big deal. We want it to pop up like, as we're playing through it normally. In this, it's not that big of a deal, but, if I don't have to grind for it, it's fine. There's a common misconception from people who watch 106 speedruns, because when you go for Glitch Girl, then you normally go to a level, and it's normally much faster to go on a level and get a on-purpose death than it is to do other ways of grinding. And so people will ask, well, how do you make sure you get Glitch Girl? And the answer is to just go to a level where it's you can see Bandage Girl from the beginning, and either beat the level continuously or keep exiting out of that level, which is not the most fun thing in the world, but neither are taking purposeful deaths. So what we're gonna do instead is just hope that the RNG works in our favor. So fingers crossed. Which I'm sure it will. Yeah. There was that AGDQ 2021 run where I got like amazing luck. I still remember that. That was one of the best luck I've ever gotten in this run at all, except for I think my 106 PB had pretty fantastic luck. The odds of getting Glitch Girl for each chapter are roughly 50%. To do it without grinding, so
like 10% in a speedrun setting.
It's less than. Okay, I was fine there, but I'm still going to. I'm not taking any chances on that one. Yeah. Like I was standing on top of it, I would have been fine. Especially with pausing there, it would let me sort of buffer an input. So if you're holding a direction and running, and then you just stop pressing that direction, you will actually stop your movement. So it is in this a good idea if you're like running and you're like, ooh, it looks like I might fall off of this, and you want to cancel your momentum. It does work. Or you can not pause and just, let go of the button instead. Fun thing is when you quit out of a warp zone and then you go back in, it will give you like a wrong warp. So right here, I have to move on the map back to it. Okay, so there's actually a fun thing with this one, and we're going to use it later. But this is actually technically, if this was a speed run, this would be slow to get Glitch Girl here. Because of I'm getting Glitch Girl the same level as a warp zone. I'll explain it in a second as I explain what a glitch level is. It's just like it's like the same thing as what you see in a warp zone level. They tend to be a tiny bit longer, but not really. So it's just a bonus level. We got through it, but you can see there, I'm supposed to have gone over the top of the space on the map, but I went over the warp zone. So if you actually get Glitch Girl on the same level as a warp zone, you get teleported, which is, it seems like that wouldn't necessarily be all that worth it, but there's going to be a level with the warp zone coming later on that's actually really difficult to get to. So that makes it, really handy for that one. So
I see a
just
question
takes away.
From chat. Yep. Shredberg is playing on a controller, not keyboard and mouse.
Oh yeah, I am playing on controller. In general, it doesn't really matter all that much on this. 106 tends to get a lot more keyboard players because of Nyjah, which some people insist that it is much easier to control. And I would say that for like a full game run perspective, both in challenge runs and in this, it literally does not matter. Maybe you have a slight advantage with keyboard with Nyjah, but it's not really that big of a deal. It's just what you prefer. And then like any percent, there's a good mixture of both. I want to say 3 of the top 4, 2 of the top 3 are controller. Okay. But we're moving along here, just 3 more levels. The first few chapters are like, well, how do I explain this? They're like relatively straightforward after you have a ton of time in them, but like deceptively so, to where sometimes I'll be like, oh, I'm just feeling comfortable, and then I make a stupid mistake because I wasn't paying enough attention to them. So I feel like even part of the challenge, not necessarily in this type of setting where, all eyes are on, but when I'm just doing normal attempts, I feel like sometimes I can not give some of these levels the respect that they deserve.
Yeah. It'd be very easy to just move past them mentally.
Yep. And that is Forest.
Woo!
GG on the Forest.
1 out of 7 down.
Yeah,
Let's go.
7th of the way through. So we're going to do hospital. So I did that one where I did the light and then the dark back to back. But that's the last time I'm going to do that. Well, I guess until Cotton Alley. Okay, this next level right here is a little bit scary. Let me see. Okay.
Nice.
In order to get that bandage, you do have to like fall here. There's ways to make it safer, but it's not. Honestly, it doesn't end up being that much safer. So
It's a tough fall for sure.
yeah. And more than anything, it's just one of those where, I don't know, as long as I'm concentrating, it's fine, but it's easy to be just a little bit off. It's only a 1 block window.
Even in a lot of the earlier levels of this game, there's like a lot of understated precision.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm sure if like, you know, you've played the game, you know how difficult it is. There's not a single section of this game that is particularly easy. When you're playing through the game, like even, you know, Light Forests, there's plenty of challenge in it. Yeah, we're just going to go. I don't have to exit to map anymore. When I do that, I can just change character. I accidentally there's a thing called storage. So when you beat a level, or die technically, but you know, not on this one. So right there, I landed on the ground. I would start the next level, the very first frame, as if I was on the ground. But if you look carefully on these, you actually start just above the ground. So you can like jump off of the air, and that can be useful, like especially in speedrun settings, to like go to walls faster and stuff like that. But in on that one, I accidentally did it when using an auto jump. And I did not want to do that. Because auto jump will let you jump every single frame. And if you are to do an auto jump before the timer starts, you know, that very first frame of movement, when that position is stored, that's when you'll jump. And then this is another character. This is Jill. Jill has like a vertical movement stall thing where, you know, you just press jump again and then it stops gravity there, stops your vertical movement down.
Does it throw you off when you have to like swap characters?
When I have to swap characters, no, after you get used to it. But what does throw me off is actually when I use Jill, and part of the reason why there's no other Jill characters is that what will throw me off is that it's really hard to be consistent with Jill, because any slight difference in where you stopped, you know, changes everything. So your movement, I don't know how to explain it exactly, but it's really hard to be consistent with Jill compared to a lot of other characters like Meat Boy or Joseph or Nyjah. The first 3 chapters are, I think, or at least 3 sections, you know, Olive Forest, and then I think it's all of this. It's all Meat Boy. And then once we get going, there's going to actually be a good chunk of characters used, which is something that's really fun about this compared to speedruns. Is in speedruns we tend to play with Meat Boy. We try to get the character Nyjah as soon as possible, which will make a lot of sense when we unlock her. We'll see how fast it goes, and I'll be taking Nyjah relatively slowly as well, and it's still very fast.
Some of the Nyjah gameplay that you can see in a lot of the individual level speedruns of this game is just wild. Some really cool stuff. It is honestly, it's some of the most precise gameplay you can like have out there.
There's the actions per, I guess there's games out there and speedruns out there that have like actions per minute that are faster, but not too many out there. So here I'm using timer glitch again. This is one where the A+ time is like 8 seconds, and we have to go through the level once, then back, and then through the level again after we grab the bandage. And there's just no way of doing it. So this is one where, you know, when I did it on 118 earlier, you can get that without timer glitch. It's just it's risky. But on this one, it is a requirement. And that one as well is if you try to do that at home, one thing to know is that if you're playing like on PC, there's like 2 versions of the game. There's the normal one if you just download it and buy it from the store. That's the most updated version, but on PC you down patch to do it. I'm playing on Linux, which does not have that update. So on that you can do it easily. But if you're trying it at home and you're like, oh, it's not working for me, you're probably on the wrong version of the game. There's quite a few glitches that were patched out on the newest version on PC, and also on like the PS4 and Switch version. But on all
that's really good to know for like potential runners of the future. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah. For the most part, too, the only difference between them is load times, at least for any percent. But on 106, there's actually like considerable differences that can actually take minutes. But also on console, there's different characters as well. So the 106 run tends to be like pretty different overall. And even the deathless would end up being like quite different on console versus PC. But like on this version, I did not actually know that. Yeah, on this version, there's like Head Crab in here. We'll have some other ones, but like Head Crab is only on the Steam version of the game. I believe that it's true. I'm going to end up just going back to the beginning. I believe on the Epic version, I don't know if I've ever like actually played on that one, but since it's not on Steam, I believe that it does Goo Ball from World of Goo, but I don't know 100%. That's just what I've heard. And then on console, you unlock Gish, who they all act almost the same. That one right there looks like it's really tight, and it is pretty tight actually, but ends up being really consistent using auto jump there to.
And that one was a strat you had a lot of practice in as well, and so just taking it a little bit safer makes it pretty consistent, it seems.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, the top section is I don't know, it's just kind of funky when you're having to think about it and actually do jumps. On that one, if you use auto jump, it makes the whole thing like pretty procedural, which is honestly the goal on a lot of these levels, is to just feel like you are doing the same thing every single time. They have to wait a little bit for those ones. And then this one is another one where got to do that timer glitch no matter what. I think that level's like the biggest time loss in like a speedrun setting. If you don't timer glitch, because it's like 16 seconds long. But we're almost here at the end of the light chapter, so this has been going well so far.
Yeah.
This guy right here scares me. I have not hit him yet, and I don't think I've ever died to him in a speed run. But
now that you're aware, now that you're aware of his existence.
Yeah, this category makes you ultra, like in the speedruns almost, it feels like you sort of, I don't know, forget about things. But I should explain this boss. This is Chad. We're going to grab 3 keys there. Here we're doing a skip. Normally this like stops in the middle before we grab that key, and he goes like back and forth, and you have to, make sure you're safe and jump over him. But I can do the speedrun strat here where we grab that middle key, and we basically make that just keep on going up. And that's one where I honestly feel like that is safer. You actually can't go too far off screen in any direction or else you will die. So it actually has kill planes right off screen. So you do have to make that tight. It's somewhat tight, but after you do it hundreds, thousands of times, it's really not that bad, which is probably true for a lot of things in speedrunning, but especially that.
Yeah, good job on that one. That looked really tough.
Yeah, thank you. Now we're in Salt Factory. Each chapter of this sort of like ramps up in difficulty. Each one is generally games tend to do. And this is another sort of step up in difficulty. Has this salt all over the place. And the hitboxes on the salt can honestly be a little bit wonky. Not the worst in this game, not the most wonky thing. It's just that like sometimes it can seem like you're actually safe, but you're not, or you like hit underneath a platform and that actually will kill you. It's nothing that's too big of a deal, especially after you get used to it. But if you're not, one of the things I guess about this run is you have to be very aware of like what is going on and everything. Whoops, I accidentally clicked Head Crab. We need to go with Joseph.
We love Joseph, by the way.
We do.
Hey, Joseph.
Joseph from the point-and-click adventure game Machinarium, which is actually that's a very good game. I'm saying like it's actually very good, as if they'd put it in the game and as a joke. Like, imagine if we put Machinarium in there. Yeah.
And it's also a 2D platformer.
It's a point-and-click adventure game. It has a really cool art style as well. It came out like 2009 ish.
Okay, all right.
I think it's on like all platforms. Well, actually, I don't know. Actually, it might not be. It's on PC, but it might not be. It's also on Switch. I don't know if they ported it to like PS4 and all that stuff. Which
Oh yeah.
okay, the last bandage in this level is
it's so scary.
it's actually really annoying. Whoa. Right. Some of the saw blades, I talk about like janky hitboxes, but the saw blades in this game tend to actually be very friendly for hitboxes, so I like that. But this one is like you have to jump on one of the bottom few pixels and you need to change back in direction really fast. But in order to jump off of the wall, you need to be holding towards the wall. So, and I want to be like kind of safe. There we go. And I'm going to do something that seems as though it would be a really dumb idea for Deathless. I'm just going to run off right here. And so we actually beat the warp zone. And that's because there's a bandage girl off screen. Like there's a second bandage girl that's off screen. So if you just run off, you touch that bandage girl, which doesn't really make sense. But if you were to like go into debug mode and like move the camera, you would see it. And if you ever use like the level creation tool, it makes a little bit more sense because you can like accidentally click on something, and especially if it's like on a different layer, it can sort of get hidden and you don't actually see it until it's too late. There's actually like a good handful of levels that have multiple bandage girls, but that is the only one that has any practical use. I'm also going to do weird routing here where I am going to play some Dark Salt Factory levels early, and there's a couple reasons for this. The biggest one is that we can get Nyjah a few levels earlier. So all three of these levels, all in a row, all three of them are in between Warp Zone levels. So don't have to do like much extra map movement, which is more of like a speedrun justification, but I don't know. It basically just lets us get Nyjah earlier, and the earlier we can get Nyjah, there's honestly a bunch of levels, even though I will say like Nyjah, difficult to use. It's really nice to be able to have her as easy as possible. That was... Ooh.
Nyjah can definitely move. She's a lot more maneuverability than Meat Boy. Meat Boy can just kind of jump. Nyjah can do a lot more than just jump.
Yeah, and it can dash like on ceilings, which just helps you avoid a lot of obstacles in some levels, but not completely safe. So it's sort of like a little bit of, I don't know. It's difficult to say that there's some risk to it because there's not really. But until we have Nyjah, it is still mostly Meat Boy, because right now in terms of unlockable characters, we got Alien Hominid, who is sort of like it doesn't actually tell you that you have it unlocked until you go to the character select screen, but we unlock it at the same time as Joseph. Hominid doesn't have any use for us on this run, unfortunately, or at least yet.
Do you still use Steve for a level in this route?
I don't, and
it's so sad.
Yeah, I like to get Ogmo early, because if I don't get Ogmo early, I can't do like a number of levels. And so you need to get 100 bandages for that, or to get Steve. And so I'd have to leave like a few levels and then go back, and the routing would be kind of weird. And I want to like, my attempt in routing this is to just sort of keep like a mental focus on things. If I'm like going in and out of things, it can sort of lead to
understandable.
Yeah, just questioning things more, being like, oh, is this right?
Less of a headache. Right? Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, Joseph has some nice usages here. But I guess one thing that I should explain with Joseph is supposed to work like you jump and then you press it again and then it sort of hovers. And the way that works is it takes your current speed, it takes your current speed. Sometimes it augments your acceleration, but this one takes your speed and then it adds on top of it when you press jump again. So if you're doing, most of the time you jump once, you let go of jump and then you press it again, but we actually have two jump buttons where you can press jump and then jump on the next frame, and then you get a big old jump and it lets you skip a bunch of sections of the game. Like that, just don't have to worry about all that salts down there. And then also has a thing where you can jump in midair if you just run off of a platform, which a few characters have, which can be really nice. And so we'll use that to our advantage. The character we're about to unlock here, Ogmo, is the same way here. Ogmo, of course, from Jumper, the Maddie Thorson game. You might know Maddie Thorson from Mario ROM hacks,
Towerfall,
Jumper 2, Jumper Remastered.
I don't know if there's much more. Yeah,
not too much more. This is actually honestly the first place where I get really stressed. I'm going to concentrate on this jump right here. Okay, that was close, but we made it. Despite like casually and in the speedrun, this isn't too much of a consideration because I don't know, it's not very long. It's not that hard. But for Deathless, it's a little scary. That's like the first place where if I die, I'm not like, why did I die there? That's actually like a pretty reasonable death to take, and it's like the first.
Yeah, common place to die.
Yeah, it's the first place of the run where I'm just kind of like, well, it happens. All right, just gonna keep on going here. I'm actually gonna use storage jump to its potential. When you switch characters for whatever reason, you automatically get ground storage. Okay, don't grab the bandage then, meat boy. And so it just lines up a little bit better if you have storage there. And so this is a level where it's difficult to get the bandage and A+ at the same time. It's possible, and we do it in the speed run, and it's honestly easier to get than any of the other ones. But on this one, I actually am going to play through it twice. And the reason is when you do timer glitch, some but not all animations in the background will keep going. So the whoops, no, get out of there. So these things that shoot these saw blades will keep on going on the side, and it makes them in just a very bad location for us. All right, these missile launchers work on like frame rules, so unfortunately, they don't act the same every single time you enter a level. It's like I don't know exactly how they work, but it's not a like once you enter the level, the timer starts. It is some sort of global timer, but I'm not entirely sure if it's like, it's always running that clock, or whether or not it's only when you're in a level, or if it's only when you're in a level with one of those things. All right, we're gonna do a skip here. Normally you wanna do this whole like back and forth race with Brownie where you don't need to actually like win that, you just need to not die. But instead we just go to the side, we do a precise jump called a sprint jump, where it's sort of misleading. We actually let go of sprint and then jump and then press sprint again. And so that keeps us like tighter in, because as I explained, there's like a kill plane just off screen, and if you do a sprint jump, you actually stay tighter to the wall. And the way that works is that when you jump off of a wall without sprint, you actually have less vertical speed than if you jump off of the wall with sprint held. So but you also accelerate at a higher rate if you are not holding or you accelerate at a higher rate if you're holding down sprint. So you jump off the wall to have a relatively low speed, and then you press sprint immediately, and that lets you stay closer to the wall. All right, we're gonna do Joseph here.
It's pretty impressively consistent gameplay so far.
Thank you. The beginning of this, actually, that's right. I used to do this level, and there's like a skip that I do with Joseph, but I just recently, I almost said patched that out of my run as if there was like an update, but removed it from my run. In the 1.02 update, it's no longer there. Good call from the route dev on that one, in my opinion.
Yeah. There you go. I know in regular 106 runs, you use like a few like clips. Do you use any of those in the Deathless route? Are any of them like more consistent?
We'll see one. Oh yeah. Clips are actually our best friend on this. We'll see one in just a little bit.
There's one in Hell that always looked like it made the level way easier.
There's a few in Hell actually. It makes Hell and then Dark Hell actually like really consistent, and so I really do like them, and we'll see them in a minute. As we're sort of in the last few levels, we need 2 more bandages to get Nyjah. Right now we're at 38. This level has a bandage, and then the next one has a bandage. So
I think we just saw our first unintentional slide in that level.
That's an intentional slide.
That's intentional.
You're talking about the one that's right here, right there. That is intentional. It's actually really nice. Well, it's not that nice. We do it there because you get the slide. So, but a slide, if you are not aware, is if you do what's essentially a frame perfect jump, like right when you touch a wall, there's a chance that you can slide up it as if you touched the ground. And it's frame perfect, so you're not going to get them consistent. So you're not generally going to route in a slide. And so you do want to make sure that it doesn't happen unless you mean for it to happen. That slide that I just got was not frame perfect. That happened because of a corner block. Corner blocks and half blocks in this game act a little bit strange. And then one thing to explain right here, the A+ is 30 seconds, and I did not get it in 30 seconds. This is a dark level, so it does not matter. That doesn't count to our completion percentage. It doesn't unlock anything. There's no purpose in doing it. And then the haters that I made up in my head might be like, oh, but shouldn't you really get all of them? If we were, I would just timer glitch it. So who cares? You know what I mean? That's what the haters in my head hate it when I say that. But all right, we're going to do Nyjah right now. I do need to concentrate on this one.
Oh.
All right, that's fine. That's why I have to concentrate there. All right, that one's a tight one no matter what. I have not found a setup for there that works very well. But that's the first death. No deathless tonight. And then right here, we're going to get a nice little clip so we don't have to do all of this level. But yeah, Nyjah works by you can dash by not just pressing the button, but once you can hold it, and that gets you in like to a bubble state that lowers down your velocity. And then when you unpress it, that's when you dash. And so what it does is it adds a velocity vector in there. It's going to give you it's going to add to your velocity going up and going to the side. So it's going to change your velocity in both directions. But what that does mean is if you're falling, if you're jumping, if anything where your velocity is, if anything's different, your dash is going to be slightly different.
Nice glitch, girl.
Yeah. Nice one. This one is one of the ones that like glitch levels that scares me the most, even though like not too bad.
The hitboxes are weird.
Yeah. And then there's some fans in here, and these fans can be scary, and sometimes I feel like I get close to them, and I don't know. This last jump's kind of nice though. Playing it casually, it wasn't nice because the lava hitboxes in particular, if you get onto like, I don't know, it looks like you're touching the wall, but you're actually apparently touching the lava, so those ones can be a bit of a pain. But anyways, back to Nyjah. Nyjah can also do like spins in the first like 8 frames of the dash, which can be very nice. So we can grab things and do turnarounds, which I'm going to do it like right here, grabbing that bandage and going there. But in general, what's really nice is that like I can just stay here on the ceiling, just dash on the wall. This level can be really long with any other character. Can get up here without having to grab a couple keys, which just helps with consistency because this level ends up being really long if you don't do a skip. So
does Nyjah have the same run speed as Meat Boy?
No, the run speed is much slower.
Okay.
So on this one going to Nyjah, and it really depends on Nyjah on when we use, just based off of how many. There was an unintended
slide. That's so unlucky.
That was a bad slide. I didn't even see that coming until I died. All right, well, I
That was an RNG death for sure.
I've never gotten a slide there. I didn't even know that was something to worry for. Some walls are like way more consistent on getting a death, but that one was wild.
And now it's forever going to be in the back of your mind.
For real. Which is kind of a good thing. To be honest with you, it's a good thing when you know, because then you like more consciously hang on. And on that one too, I don't really need to do anything.
It's just
very
a matter
fast.
of like delaying the jump, right? Ever so slightly. Yeah.
On some levels, it can be really tough. Like there's a level that's going to come up in Dark Cotton Alley where I can't do it. Like I can't consciously be like, I'll just wait a little bit on that jump because it's a really tight jump and there's no way to get around it. But on that one, all the time in the world, I was just trying to quickly set up like jumping under that thing. There's no need for that. So kind of an unfortunate Dark Hospital. It's honestly been one of my more consistent chapters, to be honest, but you know, it happens sometimes. My PB is 5 deaths, so we still got
still in good shape. Yeah. Winnable.
Winnable for sure. But that is one thing that I do think makes this challenge very difficult, is just this game has just some wonkiness to it, you know. 2010 indie game, you know, gonna happen.
Yeah.
And that is, just to double check, that is Hospital. And then we're not gonna go back to do Salt Factory yet.
Dark Salt,
which I guess at this, or Dark Salt. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I could potentially. I've like thought about it in my mind, but I don't think that there's any benefits in doing that. One thing that I want to do is sort of front stack this. Once I get Nyjah, just front stack it in terms of difficult stuff, and then you get towards the end and it's the relatively easier stuff. Really, the only easy stuff in this game is probably the first like 3 like sections for me, which is light forest, dark forest, and you know what? I normally do this with Ogmo. What am I doing?
Let's go, Ogmo.
I was just gonna finish it with Meat Boy, but then I realized it's disrespectful to Ogmo.
Yeah, and we respect Ogmo.
That's true. In this house, we do. Hell is like, in a casual setting, Hell is probably where this like the difficulty of the game really starts to step up.
Oh yeah.
From like a speedrun perspective, that's also true. It's where the difficulty really starts to ramp up. And from a deathless perspective, though, it's where the difficulty like really starts to ramp up. So it generally is true, no matter what you're doing, that Hell tends to be.
So when you think about it, Hell is kind of like the hell of the deathless challenge.
I would say that's a pretty good analogy. It's not the hardest though, but I would say that analogy is true.
Yeah, the mechanics just kind of get harder to control the further in the chapters get.
There's just more places to die, really, is what happens. It forces you into these tighter places, and it becomes just, you know... from a speedrun perspective, you're doing like really, really wild things that
Especially
should not be possible. Yeah, this level has one of the more like notorious skips that just shouldn't be. I know that it's in my all light levels PB, but it should not be in PBs. Like it shouldn't be possible.
Yeah.
You're like jumping in between those saws as you're going down. It's wild stuff. It honestly should be banned just because it's difficult. But unfortunately, speedrunners don't care about if things are hard.
Just gotta be fast. It really is so stupid.
I know, for real. This one I have to remember. A lot of these levels I don't necessarily need to remember to be moving right at the beginning, but these first 2 levels are really important, especially this one right here. Like if you look at the wall there, it looks as though you shouldn't be able to jump off of it, but you can unless the lava cheese balls are actually like shooting out. That's when they actually get a hitbox. So
would you say you like cheese balls?
I do like cheese balls. I would never like buy a thing of cheese balls, but like let's say I go to, you know, I'm at somewhere and they got like one of those big old plastic jugs of cheese balls.
Right. It's like already in the house.
I'm helping myself. That's all I'm saying, you know? I'm not a big fan, but I'm not a small fan either, you know? I'm a regular size.
You're not gonna starve if the cheese puffs are around.
That's exactly right. Right there, a little bit of a... Okay, come on. Oh my... Am I going to get A+? No.
Oh,
that's
replay.
All right, this level I'm doing... The strat is like borderline dumb, but I'm using like a... Nyjah can, you know, go through walls. This is like a setup that's supposed to be consistent, but it works a third of the time. Yeah, see, it was dumb. I told you it was dumb. I need to reconsider this one. Mostly because that hitbox is just a little bit bigger than it looks.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit bigger. But we can go through walls there. The thing I don't like is there's those cheese balls down there, and it's actually kind of tight in between. Like, not just getting in there can be a little bit annoying, but I should be able to set it up fine. I'm considering it. The fact that I was talking about reconsidering doing it and then dying there that's a sign. But like this one right here, we use this nice little clip setup. Whoops. The way that I do that setup is you just basically dash into the wall and then jump away from it. And then after a certain point, let go of dash to dash again. And a third of the time you will dash through the wall if you're in the right location. On the most recent version of the game, it's actually 100% consistent because the way that it works is you have to have been dashing. There's two different frame times on it. There's 17 milliseconds and there's 16. Oh, okay. Well, I just want to show really quick. That eyeball is gone. That's like a Linux and Mac specific glitch.
Huh.
It can be really nice, but it's going to come back. So I just wanted to show that really quick.
Interesting.
But anyways, yeah. So the frames are like two different times. I don't remember which one's more common, but two of the frames are like 16 or so. Oh, like look, this one disappeared. So we can just hang out over here.
It's gone. Yeah. What the heck? I didn't know about that. That's funny.
They both can disappear, which would be pretty, you know, I should run the IL for that one, wait for both of them to disappear, and then start an argument on the Discord on if it should be allowed.
I think that's a great idea. That sounds like a great way to spend a Saturday.
No, chat. I'm joking. Don't do that.
No,
do not start arguments.
That is a great rainy Saturday activity.
No, yeah. Don't do leaderboard discourse.
Yes, it's not worth it. No matter how much you think you care, it's not worth it.
You'll wake up the next day and you'll be like, oh,
even if it's not the next day, even if it takes a week, you'll wake up and you'll be like, okay.
It could be as little as you get up from your chair and you're like, oh, that's right.
Yeah, you get a Dr. Pepper out of the fridge and you're like, okay.
Nothing makes you realize that speedrun arguments are never worth it like an ice cold Dr. Pepper.
You got that right, Shedberg.
All right, these ones right here, these eyeballs, again, they can disappear, but they shoot lasers. We try to avoid them. I do really like it when they disappear. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think anyone knows why they happen. I certainly don't. But if I could ever find a way to consistently make those disappear, it'd be huge. For the speed run, it'd be really nice, but also just like for this run specifically, it would also be really nice because it would just remove a lot of different hazards. They don't tend to be that much in the way, but as I explained before, as many potential deaths as you can remove, the better. I mean, 2 of the 3 deaths that one disappeared. That actually doesn't do anything for me because that one will always be behind me as long as I keep running. But in theory, it was a nice gesture. And so it's like, chat, sometimes you'll get like a gift from, I don't know, your like aunt or something who you haven't seen in a couple of years. They don't really know what you're into, and they get you like a gift card to a store that you've never gone to. And you might be thinking like, why did they give me a gift card to Joann's Fabrics? I don't do anything at Joann's Fabrics. That's just, you know, you got to be appreciative, and that's sort of what that was. It was a gift to Joann's Fabrics, even though I don't shop there. But you know, maybe consider just going there, and maybe, I don't know, they might have something for you.
Do you think they sell like snacks at Joann's Fabrics?
They definitely they all have the, like, you know, when you go up to the register.
Yeah, there's like the line with all the snacks around it. You can probably find some.
I had to go to Joanne Fabrics today before the show.
No way.
So you would have loved that gift card. Then.
Yeah.
Yes, I might have.
The metaphorical gift card.
I bought a hot glue gun. There you go.
Nice.
It's on sale.
That's an awesome
Thanks, Joanne.
purchase.
All right, that's Fly Wrench from the game Fly Wrench. Not going to use it in this run. There's a couple levels where I'm considering it, but not yet in there. It has like a weird triple jump where each jump gets like lower each time. But
which is very similar to jumping in real life if you've never tried it before.
That is true, but I do not think in real life I can triple jump.
Oh.
But I've never
Must be an
tried
East Coast thing.
Probably an East Coast thing. Here on the West Coast, we respect the laws of gravity. Isaac Newton, the GOAT.
Yeah, that's the difference between me and you.
Yeah. All right. Getting to the end of hell. And you know what? As a special treat, I'm actually going to do the next boss in a very fun way.
Ooh.
Not just as a treat for chat, but as a treat for me. Oh, this eyeball disappeared. That's my favorite eyeball to disappear. It also does it very consistently. But this is Little Horn. We can do a fun little thing. I'm still going to stand in the same place, but I'm going to do it in a fun way.
Okay, I'm very interested.
I'm going to do
see what this is
the
gonna be.
glitch, and so there it's just going right through me.
What? That is fun.
So we just do the same glitches. As I explained earlier that some of the animations in the background when you do, I guess it's not a timer glitch because there's no timer here, but you know, it's the same activity as doing it, the same order of operations.
That's awesome.
But other than that, when it slams down like this, it just I always feel like it's just kind of stupid to do because what if I just did it wrong? You know?
Yeah,
I don't trust myself enough for that.
But it's fun to try, right?
It is, yeah. If I was deathless on it, I would have just normally you just jump over the top of it, which thinking about it now might actually be more precise. So
if you haven't seen this strategy before, by the way, this is also like it's crazy to see for the first time. You can just literally stand still in that one spot and never get hit by the boss.
All right, now it's time for what's actually probably the hardest 2 minutes of the run. And there's going to be a character warp zone and then a really long warp zone. It's actually probably 3 minutes. I don't know how long one of them is. But as I showed on accident earlier, I'm going to enter this character warp zone, then I'm going to exit it, then re-enter and beat it. So that I can not have to play to unlock one of them.
This is
so it looks like I'm just scared of this level, and then I'm like, oh no, I'm brave, but actually I'm not brave. I just have to do it. Yeah, I'm very scared. This is the hardest part of the run. It's got this double jump just like in I Want to Be the Guy. Very tight. If you ever played this game, you know how notoriously hard this is. This is like one of them. You can't save in between levels, so it's almost like you know when you used to leave, like, I guess if you're old enough to have a game that didn't have like save files, you'd leave your game on overnight. You do it on this one because this level here takes people forever, and it's honestly really scary. Just gonna concentrate really quick. All right, there we go. I mean, I can still die on this last one. I've done it before, not anytime recently, but makes you feel really bad because it should be really easy. More recently, though, I've been dying on this one, which like casually is the easy part of the level. But I have been making a lot of mistakes on it, but not today.
Nice. Devil's Kid. That is huge.
Yeah,
that is so
that
hard
is
to
huge.
do.
That is huge. And now you can see we're over the top of a warp zone that we shouldn't be on. And so again, that's because I exited out of the level and then it brings me back. So it brings you back to like the first place on the map, I think. Sometimes it brings you back to a random level. But for the most part, it brings you back to the very first place on the map, which here is the warp zone. So that lets us, you know, play one fewer level, because or else normally what we have to do is play through it once to get the warp zone, then play through it again to get Bandage Girl. And so with that, we just play through it once, one fewer level, one fewer place to potentially die.
Yeah, getting Kid Deathless is definitely like by far the biggest hurdle of the run. So that's really cool.
It is by far just the hardest part of the run. This one has been like, I think what happens on this one is it's not too bad, but you get sort of like your heartbeat goes up, you get nervous. You're like, oh my, am I going to die on Kid? The run's been going on for what, 30, 45 minutes or so, you know, and then you get it and you sort of have this like, oh, okay. And then you sort of calm down a little bit. The adrenaline goes away and then you relax and then boom, something happens. There's also a tough jump coming up on the last part of this one, which for the most part, they're pretty, I don't know, standard jumps, I would say. I'm not trying to say they're easy on any of these, because if they were, I think somebody would have been able to beat this game deathless already, which no one has. But for the most part, these warp zones are, again, fairly standard jumps, nothing too precise. I'm just going to let this guy go on by. But there's a jump coming up here that I just think is, woo.
Ooh.
This one right here.
Woo. Oh, nice. It's so funny because like a lot of the time the game gives you like absolutely no space to work with, and it almost looks like you have a lot of space in that one, but those jumps are so precise.
That one is honestly, it does look like you have more space than you really do. But the thing is that there's a lot of the time you're basically having to worry. Whoa, okay, I did not like that. Whew. Okay, anyways, most of the time you really only have to worry about jumping too high or jumping too far. And with that one, you have to worry about both jumping too high and jumping too far, or else you'll hit, a thing above you or on the side of you. And there's plenty of them with that. But that one, what makes it tough is you also need to bend it around. So you need to then also control like your left and right at the same time as not jumping too high and the same time as not jumping too far. So it like combines a bunch of things that should in theory actually be pretty straightforward, and it makes the jump just a little bit awkward. So it's one of those where it's like, it's probably not even one of the harder jumps of it. It's just one of the more awkward jumps of the run. I was way too close to that saw, dude.
That was so scary.
That was unnecessary.
Oh my gosh.
But as I said before, the saw blades actually have like really friendly hitboxes. You can like have your thing on the very edge of those, which I might have gotten a little shave there. Those saw blades actually give you a lot of space to work with. They're very nice. Same thing with like a key hitbox. Those ones are actually like really big. I think you can like technically not even touch them sometimes. And you'll touch them. Same thing with these buttons. Like the hitbox is actually like quite large. There we go, nice. I did like a super dash there, which is like a frame perfect type of dash that gives you more height. Because as I explained before, normally you're in like a bubble. And that bubble will stop you from will slow down your speed. Which that means when you dash and it adds speed to whatever your current speed is, your speed is lower. But if you were to never have that bubble pop up and still dash, you end up having, you know what, I do like this with Nyjah. You end up having more speed. So there I was, you dash higher, but with Nyjah, it is actually a consideration in this. For the most part, I do not want to super dash. I want to specifically not super dash. So I do my dashes slower because sometimes you can just dash a little bit too high, and there's a lot of saws in this game, and you dash right into a hazard. So for speedruns, you also kind of have to worry about that. But in general, with speedruns, you sort of route it to where as many supers as you can get is better. But on this one, you want to make sure that you're not doing it, except for on 5.5 where I did it on purpose.
How long have you been doing attempts at this category for?
So I started it last year, and then I did it for like a month or so, and then I was busy, and then switched categories to I was doing 106 speed runs, and then I just like didn't stream as consistently, and then I went back to this like a month ago, something like that. And so I've been doing them for basically a month. This guy's gonna follow behind me. Always scares me. I'm pretty sure as long as you're just moving the whole time, he doesn't catch you, but it sure looks like he's gonna catch you. Oh, whoops. One thing I've been skipping through, I've been going fast through this, and this isn't a speedrun, so we don't need to go as fast as possible, but we got art here from like different people, and this one was also Maddie Thorson of Ogmo and Kaizo Mario levels as well. There's ones that are like Derek Yu did one, Bill Fish, who else? Plenty of people.
Also didn't know that.
Which I think is cool. This is, this Rapture has like 3 really, really tough warp zones, and then this is called Sunshine Island, and it is kind of a little bit of a vacation, to be honest with you, from the other ones. It's very peaceful. I really like the orange color on that, like in the background.
It's
I do
nice
think that it actually, yeah, it looks really nice.
Sunset, the best.
Yeah.
It does really feel like a, like a vacation, as you said.
That's right.
How many saw blades do you think we'll see on the vacation?
That's a good question. Most vacations, I'm going to be honest with you, that I've had very few saw blades.
Really?
But that one,
good.
Yeah,
that shocks me knowing you.
It's
that's true.
An interesting vacation here.
Yeah. Whoa. That one always scares me, even though it's not. There's so much room. All right, here's going to be a fun thing. I talked about that bubble. Oh, whoops, I messed that up.
That was scary.
We want to go into that bubble, and we want to auto jump. And so then when we jump off of the wall, it's going to give us more of a jump. And so that does also affect your acceleration. It immediately cuts your speed, but it also makes it to where you accelerate at a lesser value. What that means is that gravity's less when we're in that bubble too, which helps you like float and so that you can dash in the right place without it like, oh, whoops. That was too big of a jump. Without it, it might be a little bit difficult for people to like really line up a dash since you're like letting go instead of pressing it. You can sort of see it there. Most of the time when I'm dashing, it's probably only up there for like 2-3 frames.
I love that dash that you have at the beginning of this level.
But like there, you can see it. Oh yeah, it's really nice. Just because it like just goes right over the top of it. It does scare me though, even though I know it works. It
It looks so scary every time.
This level is like you go like all the way across there and you can see like those things, but we just like cut all the way across here, grab that bandage, and it's done. I just went over to the right more just to show that there's like actually a ton of, if you've only seen this run or this game through like speed runs or whatever, you might actually not know that 5:16 is like longer than 2 seconds. But it's actually pretty considerably long. And that is honestly what makes Rapture so different, is there's so many, no, I don't like it. I would have been fine, but I didn't like the setup there. Whoa. Okay, we're fine. That one's a little bit scary, but definitely the easiest setup on that one because the dash just works perfectly to get there. A couple more levels left in this, a couple longer levels as well. One thing that can be nice about Naija too is like if you're some of these things like right here, we're just able to skip it really fast, then we're able to dash up that really fast. So you're just in the presence of a hazard for much less than you would be otherwise. These just jump around these guys.
We love going in a circle.
You know, I call the enemies these guys or like random names. I think in the like special edition of the game, it does say like some enemy names, but everyone calls them different things. All right.
It's more fun to be like, those guys.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm going to do, I don't technically have to do this and it didn't even help me. Let's go. Oh boy. So this boss is RNG like 100%. And so what you do is you pause there. Normally only one can jump at a time. So if you see that like thing that's up there, there's dust clouds. If it's thick, that means it has a chance of jumping. So like right here, yeah, it jumped.
Nice.
If it's thin, that means it, yeah, it was. It doesn't matter for this run because it's not a speed run time. But on speed runs, we'll pause there because you can potentially get 2 of them to jump at once. And that means that instead of it, you know, taking one jump and then you wait 4 seconds, then one jump, and then you wait 4 seconds, then one jump and you wait 4 seconds. Instead, it can be one jumps, wait 4 seconds, and then it goes. So it helps save a good amount of time. But I'm doing it in this because I don't want to do it without doing it because I haven't done it normally in so long. So it just helps me set it up more. I pause and then I jump, and it's more consistent. Right there was a white flash at the beginning because I skipped through. Oh no, I should be fine. No, oh, that's right. You can't in end. It's only Meat Boy. It's not. This is not a choice, but you can only do Meat Boy.
Never noticed that, but
yeah, no other characters. Nyjah, from my understanding, is actually like really awkward. There's like okay, I like how I restarted it the one time to be like, oh, consistent, and that time I just didn't care. But anyways, there's like a mod that lets you play as different characters where you're not supposed to, which is important for Ogmo Plus %, where you play as Ogmo in all the levels, which is actually really fun. Great category. But my understanding is Nyjah is actually like it's really difficult on these to go fast.
The reason, by the way, that Shred was restarting was due to A+, right?
No, it was because I wanted to make sure that I was doing it consistently, and I was scared.
Okay, I was starting from the same position.
That's exactly, yeah.
Gotcha.
So when you do that and you dash, there's a chance that you can be too high up on there, and then you hit that saw blade that's above you.
Right.
Which, when I do it from the ground, I end up being in a lot more consistent location, because if you do a full jump, then you jump up and you do that, it's really difficult to be too high. Like, it's really hard. But if you fall down and then try to do it again, you could potentially be much higher up. And so that means that you can be high enough for...
It's just restarting for the consistent setup.
That's right. Which is most of my restarts. There's a few times. I think 320 is like the only level where I'll be afraid there of missing it. For the most part, the strats here, even when I'm going slow, A+ is honestly, as long as you have a strat, it tends to be fairly straightforward. I'm not going to say it's easy, but if you have a strat for it, it's hard to miss it if you don't die.
Last level has some good ad-libbing in it.
Yeah. Okay, now I just wait here because this what's it called? Strat is kind of slow, but doesn't matter, not a speed run. Just take our time, make sure that there's not a death there, wait for it to clear up.
It's all on the vacation mentality.
That's exactly right. On this one, there's like a skip here that like I'm almost borderline I want to do it, where you skip grabbing this key by going underneath.
There's no way that's worth it.
So here's the thing though, it might be, but the only reason I'm not doing it is the hater YouTube commenters in my head, not even real YouTube commenters, by the way, the ones in my head, where they'll be like, if I mess up, look at how much room is under. Oh, I need to restart this level. I was monologuing at a bad time. Anyways, if you miss it, you're basically floating in the air. So you have enough time to exit the level and have it not count a death. So I'm really like not doing it in order for like people who, have never beaten this game 106 with only 5 deaths, and they might not even exist. People probably don't care. But anyways, it's for them. That's the only reason why I'm not doing it. Because grabbing that key is like easy, but it's also easy to pause the game in the 3 seconds that you're like falling in the air.
I guess that's true. Yeah. If you can just, if the goal is to avoid deaths, then that becomes much less risky.
Yeah. I do kind of dislike the pause to whatever, but I've done it like how many times today. So I might end up changing that, but
yeah, I mean, there's not really any like rules to anything, it's just kind of a quirk of the game that you could abuse for this challenge. And I mean, anything you can abuse, you might as well.
It is. I said yesterday, I was like, oh, well, it is like glitchless. And then somebody rightfully pointed out, no, it's not. And that is correct. It is not glitchless. I perform many glitches, but it's like no major glitches. I'm still playing through the levels normally, but there are other ways to do it. Like there are ways to, you can get 106 by not even playing through all the levels and have it. So you can actually get higher than 106 by glitching the game. You can also like unlock to play as Dr. Fetus, and Dr. Fetus only dies if it falls down pits. It's like, it's like Nabbit in New Super Mario Bros. U. We're gonna get hit by these saws. I'm gonna die.
Oh, no.
Bazinga! Just kidding. Shout out to Jasudical. Bazinga!
Us.
All right. That one gives you invincibility, I think, because you're on the button, but I don't know 100%. Well, actually, I do know 100%.
It's like a
because you're on the button. It just plays it back, but you get invincibility by standing on buttons, or if you grab a key, you'll have temporary invincibility for like a frame or two. So normally we beat this by like jumping over to the side there on the left instead of going through here where I'm going to go. And normally, like if you get a PB and it'll say like, oh, you died 8 times, you're like, oh, okay, so that was 7 deaths. Because normally what happens is you actually, the cutscene pops up, but in the background, the game's actually still going and you'll take a death. So I just do it normal. Technically, I could exit out of the cutscene and it would like really fast and it wouldn't count, but I'd rather just do it the normal way. Plus, we get to do it in a fun, normal way.
That's the great thing about arbitrary challenges like this is you can make your own rules.
That's exactly right. It's not even my own rules. It's more of just like doing more stuff, I guess.
Sure.
Even though I was like for most of this run, I'm like, we want to be slow and steady.
Now, are there death statistics at the end of the run that like they present you with?
In a way.
Not exactly. There's in the statistics, there's like, it just shows the total amount of deaths.
I see. Yeah, that's more or less what I meant. Yeah.
Let's see where we're at.
He's wiping his save at beginning of every run, so it's going to be like a fresh file. So the deaths shown at the end are going to be just the deaths for this run.
Yeah, that's 70% through the game.
Let's go.
Of the 106. Yeah.
On pace.
We're still golden.
Although
that's right. Only one more to give. Yeah. All right.
Definitely got some of the hardest content coming up, though.
This is adorable.
All right, let's go through Cotton Alley.
Cotton Alley is cute, but terrifying.
Yeah, Cotton Alley, we get to play as Bandage Girl, who's been saving the whole time, but now the roles are reversed. We're going to play as Bandage Girl, and we're going to save Meat Boy, and this is like the only level where A+ is... the only level where A+ is difficult. The rest of them are pretty straightforward, but these levels are like notoriously hard. The hardest part, I think, consistently of the run, not as hard as like Kid, but probably second to that. Although I think that Dark Rapture is harder actually, but a lot of these levels, as you can see, there's just a lot of saws. It's a lot of stuff all over the place. And so my furthest attempt without dying is actually I get all the way through this part, and then it's the dark version of this chapter, the 10th level in, which is like, oh my gosh, I messed that up pretty badly.
Yeah, you think they could have put a few more saws on that level? I don't know if there was enough saws.
That's true. They probably didn't even hit the saw cap. And so
yeah,
they could have like
what is the saw cap?
I don't know, but there is one. It might not just be saws, but it's like
things
entities that are on the screen. Yeah. What's fun is if there's too many saws, it actually doesn't show the what is it? The blood trail.
Oh yeah.
On the saw. Sorry, not the blood trail, but when you hit a saw normally, we're not going to see it because I'm not going to die. But normally that saw will like remember that you died on it, and so it replaces that with like a saw with blood on it. But when you have too many saws, the game is like, no, actually, sorry, we're not going to show that to you, and it just stays a normal saw. And apparently, those saws actually have a slightly bigger hitbox by like a pixel.
What? No way.
It's only important to know like on one level where there's like an IL where you can do a skip on 120X. Maybe it's important on other ones. Maybe on the skip on the end level 5 where you're jumping through a couple saws.
So you have to re-enter the level to get the smaller hitbox? Yeah.
If you mess up, if you're ILing and you mess up that part, which is really easy to do, it's really precise.
It's so funny.
You have to redo it. This level is like kind of a pain. These should be we're good here.
Nice fan manipulation.
That level can be scary. It's just really difficult to get consistent. It really is really dependent on just a lot of different factors. So you sort of have to be able to really read it well. Oh my, whew. I was right in front of that's where they shoot too. So you got to really be careful when that happens. That is the exact opposite thing. Plus the conveyor at the bottom is like pushing you towards it. So it can be difficult to jump out of the way.
I've noticed Chad has started discussing meat sauce after we talked about blood, and now I'm really hungry.
Like, we talking like Sweet Baby Ray's? A1?
I'm seeing mention of bolognese, that kind of meat
Bolognese.
sauce.
Oh, okay. I like bolognese.
A little bit fancier, I guess.
Yeah. We're talking like pot. Is bolognese only on? I've only had like,
yeah, same. I mean, what else do you like put like pasta sauces on?
I guess just pot. That's why it's pasta
yeah, it's
sauce,
pasta
right?
sauce.
I guess you could do like a chicken parm bolognese where instead of like, I assume that it's marinade. I don't know.
I think so. I'm sure you can.
Then you got like, your ground meat. You got your chicken, or you can do eggplant parm. And so then you're not like doubling the meat, and you're doing eggplant parm can be delicious too. I love me some eggplant parm. Really good. This level's pretty easy. Most of these levels are hard, and there's like 2 or 3 where I'm like, thank you for this level because it's really straightforward. But I will say, I think that with sauce, I need to say this because I feel like it's gotten a bad rap for so long. A1 steak sauce, like, I get it. I'm not going to put it on like a really nice steak right there, but if you've ever messed up cooking a steak, you know what I mean? Like, it's good. It tastes good. You put it on like a sandwich too. Oh my gosh, that's delicious. But people, let me tell you, they insist, no, it ruins the steak. It's too strong of a flavor. And like, look, yeah, if you're having like a really nice steak and you put A1 steak sauce on it, maybe, I don't know, lower it down a little bit. But I think it's a good sauce that people treat it very unfairly.
I didn't know that there was A1 counterculture. I'm going to be honest with you.
There is. It's very popular. When
are we getting that A1 sponsorship for you, Shredberg?
That's true. A1, I am your biggest defender. All right, we're safe. We're fine. That doesn't matter. That happened to me. Yes, this level's supposed to be like the beginning of it. Here is a little scary. We just want to wait a little bit. I should have just exited that earlier.
Run it back one more time.
I should have exited it much earlier. Oh, nope. We don't want to jump like that. We want to slide up.
This level is called Locked Out, but Shredberg, you got to lock in.
That's true. I got to lock in. All right. Normally, it's like once I get to the end, because you really are just falling down, grab that key, jump over here. It's really like not that bad, but ugh. All right.
That was first try as far as the game is concerned.
First try. That's exactly right. This level is like casually, probably, I think a lot of people, I mean, it is really difficult because there's not honestly too many of these things where you have to balance. It's really like 518 and that's it actually, because even 518X, you don't have to do it. So it's only that level. And so people get to this level and they have such a hard time balancing.
They're really hard to manipulate casually.
Yeah, it is hard. But once you get used to it, try it thousands of times, it's not that bad.
Yeah, once you just put like thousands of hours into the game and practice it like every day, like a couple hours a day, like it's really fine.
Yeah, it's really not that bad. So that's what I recommend to anybody when they're like, I'll jump into Twitch streams of somebody like playing it for the first time and I'll be like, you need to really try playing this game for thousands of hours.
Yeah. I mean, it is a surefire solution,
It's worked for me. It's worked for, everyone else who's done it, I think. All right, this level right here is like 40 seconds long, which most of the levels in this game you'll have noticed are like 10 seconds max, but this one is like 40. It's not like, the way that I describe this is there's not really too many jumps that are like actually difficult, but it's 40 seconds long and just continually going through. Yeah.
Well, while you are going through this level, Shredberg, I do want to say a big shout out to all of our amazing supporters. Your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered here on the GDQ Twitch channel help support the Games Done Quick Hotfix. So if you do enjoy our shows, please consider subscribing to the channel. You can learn more about everything Hotfix at gamesdonequick.com/hotfix. And if y'all want to be a little more involved with our community, you are more than welcome to join us in the official Games Done Quick Discord. You can add yourself to the Hotfix role, keep tabs on upcoming events, talk with staff and showrunners, and lots more. So use the command !Discord here in our Twitch chat for more info on that. You're doing great, Shredberg.
Yeah, I think I got through that last one deathless, unless I forgot about something, which is possible. I did? Nice.
Yeah.
This level is like one of the scarier ones. I described slides before, and I'm just going to highlight these like 2 jumps, right? This one here where you're going around, and then that one right there. The second one, not too much, but that first one when you're going around, you don't want to wait too much to jump there because you're ending up falling really fast. So you don't have that much time to do it. So you like getting a slide there is really honestly like a terrifying reality of it.
And slides are caused by just like pressing the jump on like the first frame you hit the wall or something.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So if you wait, you die. If you go too early, then you die too.
So it just ends up being, I don't know. There's not really a way around it. Most of these levels, like there's a level coming up in a few where the slides are like really consistent. Most slides end up being a little bit random. But because it depends on like a few things, like where you hit a block and then also like your speed hitting a block. I don't know if it's where you hit the block. It just seems like some blocks have better setups. Maybe it just has to do with the way that you're running through the level. I don't know. I'm not a block or a slide expert. You'd have to ask one of them.
You'd have to go to a playground to find one of those. Am I right?
That's exactly right. I think my daughter, she's a slide expert. Actually, she's not. She gets scared if slides are too big. She's only like 2, so
understandable.
She's like a slide novice at this point. But
Sure.
I think we can build up as she gets older to be a slide expert. They're still fun though, you know. All right, this level has a bunch of these. I think these ones are Beatus. I think I know these names. I think this one is a Beatus, which is a reference to
Adidas.
Close. Diabetes. Who is it? Tommy of Team Meat.
The theme of the game.
Whoa. There's many references in this game to the Team Meat, like there's like a gallbladder level, which during the development of this game, Ed McMillan had to get gallbladder surgery, so there's a reference to that. This is a level where you got to watch out for the slides. They're very consistent on this level.
Makes sense.
All right, this one is like terrifying looking. Honestly, it is terrifying. It's not just terrifying.
It looks terrifying. It feels terrifying. It's pretty scary.
All right, this level, when you play through it casually, it seems as though this would be one of the harder levels, deathless. And then once you get enough time in it, you think like, oh, no. It's actually not that bad. And that's actually true. But then when you do this, it actually becomes terrifying again. So that's a fun one where it actually like it goes all the way back to kind of bad. All right, I don't need, oh my gosh. Oh, no. Okay, what I want to do here is land there neutral so that I'm not going on the block and then jump and then hold back into it. And so that lets me like consistently get off the block. If you then go into it, it might be a little bit different. It's harder to get it consistent. But if you jump up, then you can just like time it out and you'll always be at that same height. But I kept messing it up. All right, this is the level where I got to the furthest deathless and then I took a sad death. Okay, I would be alive there, but I'm not my strat. So we are going to get a little restart. That one looks a little bit scary running in front of that missile, but like it is more consistent doing that. That missile always looks like it's going to kill you, but you just run. All right, and for a good chunk of Light Cotton Alley, my favorite chapter of this game. It was my favorite casually. It's my favorite to speedrun. Light Cotton is even fun, deathless, challenging but fun. Dark Cotton could be fun, but unfortunately, there's a bunch of what are essentially auto-scrollers, like this level right here.
Then maybe I could tell everyone about some upcoming marathons that we have.
Absolutely.
Great time.
Sure, yeah. Let's talk about upcoming marathons, y'all. So GDQ's next all-women and femme speedrunning event, that is Flame Fatales, returns August 18th through the 25th. You can use the command !FF in our Twitch chat to check out the schedule. Let us know what you're looking forward to. GDQ is also going to be at PAX West from August 30th through September 2nd. The schedule is out now, and if you use the command !PAX, you will be able to access the schedule and check everything out. So we hope you will tune in for those marathons. Yeah.
Chat, PAX West sounds pretty interesting. Who's running very first in that marathon? Let me know, because I want to know first.
Yeah,
let
him know.
Let me know. I need to know what's going on there, because that sounds like a pretty good one, in my opinion. I looked away from the screen there. That's the only reason I got scared. I don't know if I was safe, but that's the one thing. It happens to me all the time, where I'll just look away when I think I'm safe, and for speedrunning, whatever, it's still stupid. But anyways.
You got me good with this one, Shredberg. You are the first runner.
I'm the first runner.
What?
Oh my gosh.
Who could have
Let's
seen
go.
this coming?
Friday, August 30th, 11 a.m., I guess Pacific time.
Yeah, bright and early.
Let's go.
It's going to be fun.
Rise and grind.
Okay, let's see. This one is so the dark levels in general, they're generally remixed versions of the light levels. Okay, yeah, I'm fine. This one tends to be a little bit easier, actually, because as you're going up and down and up and down, it ends up actually just being a little bit more in tune with how it goes up and down, whereas the light one, they're spread out further apart, so it kind of is harder. I think that they thought, well, we gave you more room, so it's probably easier, but I don't think it is. And even I'll talk to players playing it for the first time, and they agree that it's oh, that's actually not as bad.
Those crazy cycle levels are so fun to see.
Yeah, that one is scary because I have not found a way to make it any more consistent than it already is. Oh, no! All right, that's 4.
Tragic one.
Did I
Yeah.
almost get through all of Cotton Alley with Deathless? That would have been awesome.
Yeah, that was really close.
That was whatever. Who cares? Hate these guys. I should have saw it coming, but you do kind of run close to them. I thought that I had enough room. Right there. I thought that's how much room I had. That was, that's what we call a misplay in the biz. You don't want to have those.
Yeah. Only in
Especially
the biz, though.
Only there. A little bit of jargon for you all.
Yeah. For any of the uninformed in chat.
Yeah. This level is fun. You just sort of are waiting and doing not precise jumps, and at the very end we do very precise jumps. I think casually this is the hardest level because people, when you're playing this game, you're basically sprinting literally 100% of the time. But this level at the very end, a pro tip, I'm not joking with this, a pro tip, don't sprint on it. You just run normally and it lines up perfectly. It's still difficult casually until you get the timing down, but it makes it way easier. I don't know if I've ever done it without sprinting because you just go too fast. I've actually never seen a Meat Boy IL at that level. Or I guess an IL. Because you can only play as, I guess, Bandage Girl. Bandage Girl and Meat Boy have the same mechanics. You know what I mean? This is one of these things, this classic thing where I'll correct myself. No one's trying to correct me, but my brain's
YouTube commenters in your head.
Exactly.
You got to get them out of your head, Shredberg.
That's exactly right. I'm I said something that was technically not 100% accurate.
You should start putting this stuff behind a Patreon.
Here's all the things I thought today that were technically, I said it, but it's technically not true. Okay, 1 Death Cotton Alley is pretty good. So we got 4 right now.
That's fantastic.
And now I could do I could have done any order for a while, but right now it really is any order that I choose. And I'm going to do the hardest chapter next because if you think about grinding this, you want to, minimize your number of attempts. Well, maybe you don't necessarily want to, but it's probably smart to minimize the amount of attempts that you would take. So if you take the harder stuff and put it as early as you sort of can, it ends up being better. So I find that this is just slightly less hard than Cotton Alley. Whoa. This is one where it's
loading difficulty and routing is always it's important, even in speedruns as well, if you have the option to.
Yeah. Although it's like backload practice though, so you're way more consistent with the end of it, which is also true for this too. But fortunately, the beginning of the game tends to be, you gotta start here. This is one where I also don't think that there's like a very easy strat. So I end up doing, oh no. It just was kind of slip sliding all over the place, which Nyjah is, I guess Nyjah's a fish. I don't know. I don't know if Nyjah's like a mermaid technically or not, or what Nyjah is, but lives in the ocean. Derek Yu game. You might know Derek Yu from the upcoming game UFO 50.
It's probably where you'd know Derek Yu from, yeah.
Yeah. But he made Aquaria with some other, I don't actually remember the name of the other person, like legitimately, unironically. Do not remember them. I don't know why I would ironically forget somebody. I guess I have been forgetting things about people ironically today, so never mind. I take that back. But yeah, it won like indie game of the year at places in like 2007 or so. Kind of like a puzzle, not really a puzzle platformer, but you do platform and you do puzzle. It's an interesting game. It's like a narrative-ish based like adventure game, but the narrative is kind of like very, I don't want to say cryptic because it tells you a story, but I don't know. It's an interesting game.
It took me a moment
figure
to
some things out.
It took me a moment to like realize what you meant when you said ironically forgetting about people, that you had done that today, and then I remembered multiple conversations that we'd had, like even like just 35 seconds before you said that.
Yeah. Derek Yu, of course, did Spelunky, and then earlier Maddie Thorson did Celeste, and is it Earthblade that's gonna come out at some point?
That's correct. Very exciting.
It always makes me think of like Earthbound. That's probably only a me thing.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone else heard about it, so that's probably just a you thing.
You might know it as Mother.
Oh, yeah. I have a mother.
Yeah. I have a mother too.
Oh, but
it's a gamer joke for y'all.
Yeah. If you guys like video games, I think you might like that joke.
If you're a gamer, you probably would like that one.
Yeah. All right. On this next level, this is like a 25-second level. Not this one. Okay.
That's what we call a tragedy in the biz.
That was a tragedy. The end of that level is honestly really annoying. Like I don't love it, but it happens, you know? But it is very frustrating because it is like in theory pretty simple, but it's also like, I don't know, look at it, it's scary.
It's pretty precise.
They're
it's
like
also
right next to each other.
It's also like a unique form of precision where you have to like stop running in time, like.
Yeah, this game does let you stop running pretty easily. Oh, whoops, there we go. But anyways, we can skip through that level and not have to worry about it. What's nice about that is those zombie meat boys are actually random. And in this level, we can see that like first thing. I have to do this like really funky strat because of them being RNG. But the RNG is like, they'll jump sometimes and like the jumping is like random. And then how close they are to chase you is random, which is where it, oh, okay, they acted nice on this one. Sometimes the people over there that I try to bait like won't come over, and so then it ends up being it's a whole thing. But on that one, yeah, it's a kerfuffle for sure. This is another one where these saw blades, like I shouldn't die to them, but they're just so close. That is why Dark Rapture is a really difficult one. And here I'm just sort of trying to clip through here, so I don't have to worry about those ones up there or hitting that button. And oh my gosh, Nyjah.
One of these days, she'll go through.
When you see that, like, there will be like a trail in the middle of the wall, that means that I did it correctly. The like thing to clip through the wall, and so it just did not want me to go through that time. But it is essentially RNG, not technically RNG in the like, you know, it's not generating a random number, but you can't really control when a frame is a certain length or not. So in that sense, it's RNG. RNG in the way that
human RNG.
That's right.
Yeah.
Effectively.
All right. right, let's see. We're going to do Nyjah here. We're going to do the float thing again. Okay, we're going to mess it up first time again, then we're going to restart it, and then we're going to do the
This is part of the strat.
correctly.
This is part of the strat.
It's part of the setup.
Yeah. Too easy. That's true.
Yeah. This, I really like the easiest way to put this in terms of the difficulty of Dark Rapture is really the fact that it has like, oh nice, glitch girl.
Oh.
It has a lot of different places to die. There's saw blades that are just really close, and it's like consistent. Each one of them is consistent, but not as highly consistent as you want. A lot of these you get a strat, and that'll bring you from like, I don't know, whatever to like 95%. Or even like 95 to 99%. But some of those levels are just like, I don't know. If you do the math on 20 levels by 95%, it's honestly not that likely that you get it. So even if you die one time out of every 20, that's actually like pretty not amazing odds. And that's sort of what it feels like on this chapter. Like levels like this, where it's really consistent, but just a lot of those. You see, I'm just like right over that maggot.
And it's funny because when you're doing 106% speedruns, like you don't even notice half of the obstacles in these courses, I'm sure.
No, like you like tune anything out that's not like in your way at all. And you almost don't even think about it. You're just like, oh, this is the place where I jump, this is the place where I dash, this is where I do this is where I do that. All right, this is everybody's favorite. Oh my gosh, I almost had a stupid death, but that's fine. We got to carry that rocket over here and then grab a bandage, which we got first try. That one can be really annoying.
Holy guacamole.
Okay, so I wasn't actually close there to dying at all. It looked like I was, and that looks like why I paused. But actually, if you keep running there, you won't get hit by that missile. So that's actually like really consistent. I just did it because I did not like where the saw blade was here. I like it when it's going away from me like this. So I was like, we'll just restart.
It certainly looked scary.
Yeah, it looks like it, but there's like, I don't know, flies or something. There's like birds or something that's there, and those are like really tiny. Like even there, if you look near those blocks that explode, there's a cockroach on the ground, and it can hit that cockroach, and if it hits that cockroach, like it doesn't go. You can scare it away, which makes it consistent. Maybe it does hit the cockroach that's there. Huh. I don't know. It hits something, and so it'll like explode in the middle of the air, which is yeah.
Are those cockroaches in the game on all graphical settings?
Visually, I don't know, but strat-wise, yeah.
Fascinating.
Okay, that one's scary, but this one's, I feel like maybe visually less scary, but performance-wise much scarier. And so then I talked, I'm going to restart. I talked a bit ago about the those rockets being on frame rules, meaning that they're not going to be consistent. So that means that when we go in here, it's not going to consistently hit one place of that. It's going to hit like somewhere essentially random. And so sometimes it just doesn't do it correctly for you. So you can't really do it very easily with it. So it can be frustrating. And so normally I just like, okay, I get out of it, I restart the level. But the beginning of the level is the hardest part because it's actually kind of precise to make sure that you do that jump. And if you do it too late or early when you're actually going to the right, you'll end up getting shot by one of those saws because it doesn't actually give you a super tight window. This one is fun because this has a warp zone in it. And so we get to do the beginning of that level twice, which as you can see, fairly precise. Oh, I shouldn't have waited there. It's fine. I'm gonna use a little clip to be more consistent.
Cheating.
That's right. That is correct. I would find it funny if somebody was like Nyjah clips, like no problem, but that Meat Boy clip, they're like, that's just one step too far.
Do you ever get like non fake YouTube comments about like cheating?
Oh no, somehow no.
I got one like today on like a 4-year-old video.
What did it say?
I don't even remember. It was about like the final skip in Nier Replicant.
Oh, okay.
I don't even remember what
Gotcha.
it was.
Interesting. I somehow haven't, you know? I feel like, honestly, maybe if I do, I've gotten some that are silly. Somebody told me once for like all achievements, which is, I'm the only one who's ever completed an all achievements run. But somebody was like, oh, that's not world record. And I was like, yes, it is. And then they were like, oh, my mistake. That was the end of that one.
Sometimes I get people commenting like, because I do like Celeste challenge runs with like grabless, and there are like some weird janky stuff in grabless that like looks like you're grabbing. And I get people all the time that are like, hey, you grabbed, this run is disqualified. And I'm like, actually, it's like a setting in the game, like I can't grab. Like,
yeah. So it's not like, you know, minimize the actual grabs, but it's the grabless variant of it.
Right.
I sort of understand where they're coming from.
I do,
you know
as
what
well.
I mean?
It's just funny.
Yeah. That does remind me, I have gotten one, but this one makes sense though, is that when my Celeste Stadia any % world record, someone was like, this isn't world record. It's like not world record by like 15 minutes. And I'm like, well, that's not on Stadia now, is it? So yeah, if you don't know, I have the Celeste any % world record on Stadia. It will never be beaten again. So if you ever want, thank you. If you ever want to get a world record that is never beaten, but it's only locked on like a specific platform, so it's not like really a world record. And so if you actually care about it, that's kind of like silly, but it's fun to like joke about. But if you ever want to do that, go back in time and do runs on Stadia. And then you can say, oh, unbeatable, because it is a fact. You cannot go any faster than that. But is there any differences between Stadia and anything else? Nope, there is literally not. For some reason, it took forever to load on the first screen, but...
Really, I think Stadia was on the, like, a further patch of Celeste.
Was it really? Like, it came out and it was... I mean, I get it. I wouldn't have put a lot of resources into Stadia either. You know what I mean? It was probably, like, it came out as, like, a free game for a month. And so it was probably, like, people playing it then, and then me just, like, I'm going to get the world record in Stadia any %. Or that one time Chai Kitty played it. Shout out to Chai Kitty.
Shout out to Chai Kitty.
Yeah, I'm curious, did the two of you become friends through the Celeste speedrunning community, or?
Kind of. I was annoying in Chai Kitty's chat. You know, that's really where it was.
We both pretty much bonded in the chat room of Chai Kitty, the former Celeste 80% world record holder.
But the forever goat.
Yeah, absolutely. He's retired onto his metaphorical yacht and just living out his days.
Honestly, don't let him trick you. He went to Vegas. He won lots of money.
He took his boat
living
to
on a
Vegas.
yacht. I'm just saying.
He took it back.
He says one day, I'm going to Vegas. I'm going to Vegas. We see pictures of him in Vegas. Weeks later, he's like, oh, I'm not speedrunning anymore. You know what I mean? What's more likely? That he just was like happy with his time. He graduated from school. He got a good job. And he's like, I'm going to focus on this. Or that he went to Vegas and won it big. What's the more likely one?
We'll let you be the judge. But, you know, we'll all come to our own conclusions here.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious.
When have you ever seen a speedrunner, quit speedrunning?
Ain't that the truth of it?
Okay, this is the best part of the run. And by that, I mean, we're going to be here for either 2 seconds or 5 minutes. And we need to get Glitch Girl. Because if you look at the bottom, it's hard to see. It's the bottom left in between two saw blades. You can see the warp zone, like just barely. We need to get that. I could use Commander Video and like maneuver my way in there, but that's a risk. Like that is risky. So what we're going to do is, so here we want to get Glitch Girl here. So you can say I could beat this level now. Unfortunately, this is Commander Video. I don't want to play this level with any other character but Meat Boy. So what I'm doing is I'm like switching characters, because the way that Glitch Girl pops up is it's random. It's based off our chapter completion percentage, which is like, what is it? 68. So you can do 68 divided by 2001, and that's the odds of Glitch Girl showing up each time I do this. And so I'm just gonna like switch characters back and forth until Glitch Girl shows up. And we saw this at the very beginning of the run, where if you get a warp zone on the same level as if you get Glitch Girl on the same level as a warp zone, you will exit the glitch level on the map space of the warp zone. So that means we don't have to touch it to unlock it. Which, fun fact, we technically don't unlock it. It only unlocks when you do touch it, but we do get to play it over the top of the map. But if you move, this is important though, that if you move off of the map space, then you actually have to unlock it. So there's like two things you have to worry about on this one. If I get Glitch Girl on one of the first, like, oh, nice, here we go.
All right, because you can't get Glitch Girl again, so.
Yeah. So if you get it in like the first 5 levels, you actually like, you quit out and you restart. Because if you get it, then, again, the run's not like over, but it's just a lot more difficult to do it, to like unlock it the normal way. So on that one, it's sort of routed out that we get Glitch Girl here, and we'll see it in a second, where I'm just like not where I should be on the map. So it's like the second intended wrong warp thing, but I've wrong warped on the map like 4 times already. Because this run's just that fun.
Meat Boy wall hacks.
Yep, and you can see here we're on It's like the name of that, what is it? It was in Dumb and Dumber. What's the song's called Crash Test Dummies. That's right. I like that song.
I've never seen that movie.
You've never seen Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah.
I like that movie a lot. I think that movie's very funny.
I feel like I get told like 3 times a year that I should watch that movie.
It's good. I like it. It's a funny movie. I feel like so there's one thing that I really miss about, we're in the streaming era of things. Right now you're streaming this Twitch stream right now. You know what I mean? But back in the day, Twitch didn't exist. Right? We had TV, and so you only watched what was on. And so you'd be going through the channels and it's like, oh, what's this? It's Dumb and Dumber. And I feel like that's the best way to watch Dumb and Dumber. It doesn't matter where it is in the movie. It's just on, and then you're on it and it's like, oh, it's the scene where they accidentally take a wrong turn and then he trades, the dog car for the motorcycle. And you're like, oh, perfect. This is right where I wanted it to be. Or it'll be the beginning. And you're like, oh, this is perfect.
I guess there's that certain charm lost by streaming services. You don't get to just channel hop and like find stuff in that way.
Honestly, that's the best way to watch that movie, I feel. Although that's the first time I watched it, so I don't know if I can say it. But there was other movies at the time where it's like, that's how you watch it, is it's on like, FX or something randomly, and you're just like, okay. And then you like stop watching because a commercial break was like 4 minutes long for no reason, and you're like, oh, that's right. There's, college football's on or something. Mm-hmm. That's probably just me, but
you flip on like, yeah.
Yeah, it's like Georgia State versus Grambling, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is better than watching a commercial.
I think that was how I found Armageddon. So I was like on the couch at like.
Is that the movie that has that really good Aerospace, but Aerosmith song?
I don't remember.
Because that's the one where they go to space. They train.
Yeah.
They train the astronauts. Yeah, it is. That back in the night. Okay, let me tell you something. Back in the 90s, they used to have so many good original soundtracks.
That's true.
They got these artists where like there's a really good version of, well, actually it's not a really good version. There's a version like of Green Day's Brain Stew where it just has like Godzilla like roaring at parts of it, and like that's the best part of it. The problem is it doesn't play Jaded afterward, and that's like the best way to listen to that song. But if you could get that version of Green Day's Brain Stew with Godzilla and then go into Jaded, like that's I think that's the way that Billy Joe Armstrong like intended for that song to be.
I feel like movies these days like come out with just like bands as like the composer for them. Like, I don't know, think of like The Graduate with like just like Simon and Garfunkel, like just did the whole soundtrack to that. I feel like we don't like get stuff like that these days, unless I'm just totally missing it.
Tom York. It's fine. We get to play as Captain Viridian from which is cool. This is the only level that they're in. But I was gonna say, like, Tom York just did it for some like whatever soundtrack. Tom York of Radiohead. It happens sometimes, but it's definitely rarer than ever before.
I kind of like it.
Yeah, I mean, you got like Japanese Breakfast doing the video game Sable soundtrack.
That came to mind as well. Actually,
it's not like
when I saw them live, they played the fighter from Sable, which was awesome.
Sick.
Yeah, it was really cool.
I wonder if people who like don't really game but they're big Japanese breakfast fans, are they like listening to that as much as the people that are gamers? Probably. I don't know.
I mean, it is definitely a more like gamer pilled song, I would say, than a lot of their other music, which is like more indie for sure.
Yeah,
but
you know,
it's still it's a fantastic song.
Yeah, Japanese breakfast has the stands though, so
they do have
I
the
believe
stands.
it.
There's also been people I've like that know about like what's her name, Michelle Zomer, is that her name?
I don't know.
They know about her from her like book writing career and not from her being the lead singer of Japanese
something
Breakfast.
At the Kmart, or not Kmart.
Crying in H Mart, I think it is.
H Mart, that's right.
Yeah.
Kmart. Yeah.
It's fascinating. I mean, it's an interesting culture that there's just like you know, she has fans in very different places now. I guess three different places. Yeah, video games, like music, and then like books.
Yeah, that's a good book. That's true.
I haven't read it. I need to
also
read it.
Her first band, Little Big League. That's a great band. That's what I actually didn't know that Japanese Breakfast was from that band for a while, but it's really, really solid. Like
it's like when you find out Caleb
early
Shumbo is an
2000s
Attack
emo,
Attack.
like what? Yeah, but really good stuff. All right, I gotta watch it. Oh, no, I'd be fine there. This level scares me.
Did you ever listen to Attack Attack?
Did I ever listen? Phil, let me tell you something. I was like 16 years old when Attack Attack was there.
Yeah, I guess I was like a little younger.
This was what, Warped Tour 2009. Let me tell you, I was one of the first people there. This is actually a really scary jump. So let me hold up on my Warped Tour story. Oh, okay, there we go. Anyways, I was there. Attack Attack, one of the bands I was there to see. They're there. If you don't know, this is like unlike any other music festival. They just like the day of, when you're there at the site, that's when they do. I died in here, right? Oh no, I didn't. That's why I guess I didn't turn my notifications off, right? That's fine. Deathless Dark Hell, woo. But anyways, the schedule in Warped Tour would like go randomly. So you could be like, oh boy, I want to see like All Time Low, and then they're at like 10:30 a.m. and you're like in the back of the line, and you're like, well, I guess I'm not seeing them today. But that happened with Attack Attack. I get there like 2 or 3 songs like into their set, but don't worry, they played Stickly there. I got to see, I think that they did the crab core thing where they get down low, you know. It was great. I think Attack Attack is just like, if you think about it, these days they're just known for being crabcore.
Yeah, I mean,
this is
for sure. That's their lasting legacy.
Truly is. There we do like a little clip, and that's where I actually do use a super dash, which again is like a frame perfect dash there to get through. So here, this one, fortunately, we have fewer levels than normal because we, beat some of them earlier. So I guess it's not fewer levels than normal. It's just because I already, we just did it before. We prepared earlier. All right, we're going back to Naija. Really, once you get past the Cotton Alleys is really when we get to just like change character like every few levels, and that's really fun.
That's a nice little surprise.
Every time you do I'm like, oh no, I'm scared.
It's just like a reaction. Half of the time I'm doing it, it's not even like a big deal. Like, it's like, oh no, I might have to like take a half second longer on the level.
You ever die in a video game and say ouch?
Yeah.
Probably.
You ever like play a racing game and you're trying to like turn harder so you turn your body?
I do that with like Super Monkey Ball. Like, it doesn't even have to be a racing game.
That probably works with Super Monkey Ball.
Also,
if you think about it, Super Monkey Ball like is a racing game. If you think about it in some ways.
I also Cyberhook is like another like huge. Like, I just tilt my head while playing that game.
Yeah. I think it works.
I think it does too.
I think the game knows. All right, this is a fun one because it has these missiles that I've been complaining about off and on because they're what's it called, on like frame rules, so they're a little bit random. But I'm trying to manipulate them a little bit. So I do that. Wait a little bit. Here we get to stand on what appears to be air. I don't know why this happens. Legitimately, there's no blocks there or anything. It's just this like, I don't know. Someone explained it to me once, and I was like, Yes, of course, I understand everything now. And then it immediately went out the side of my head. So,
And now that they've already explained it to you, you can't ask them again. So
that's right.
so you're stuck.
Okay, I did not do the right shot there. I did not do the correct thing.
So sketchy. I can't believe you continued with that.
I can read the missiles pretty well there, but I'm supposed to do something else, and that was not what I was supposed to do. But that was like, I'm gonna do it just in case. Normally you don't clip the corner there, and so that missile can, come and bite you, but it's pretty rare. But I'm trying to, not die on this thing. But yeah, anyways, this is a pretty relatively shorter one, at least, which is kind of nice because I don't know, the Rapture one is just really long levels all the time. And so when you're going into this one, it's kind of nice. Like right here, we get to do a little clip, although I've been messing it up. This is one of these two where like, oh, nice, we did it. I found a setup for that. And that's one of the few Nyjah things that like I have helped with like at all. And then I mess it up all the time now. When I was like, oh, I'm getting this like every single time. And someone was like, oh, that's a good setup. And now I can't even get it. This one rules because you're just with Ogmo, you land on the ground and then you just jump right through it. 100% consistent, super easy.
That's why Ogmo's the GOAT.
That is facts. All right, going back to Nyjah here. This level and the next level are ones where I've like considered Fly Wrench to come in, but I don't know, it works pretty well with Nyjah, so I'm more comfortable with Nyjah movement. And I do feel like comfort is like a legitimately like important thing, because if you get nervous, then your movement's not as good,
I mean, you're somebody who has all but mastered the 106 route, and so it's literally all just like keeping like a solid like psychological state throughout the thing to just stay consistent, so you don't psych yourself out. So you have all the strats, you've done it hundreds and hundreds of times. You just have to keep it together.
Do it again all back to back to back, because there's like 300, 400 levels in this thing. There's a lot of them, so and most of them are very difficult. So right now, are we at 5 right now? I think
That's
I'm
correct.
tied with my PB.
You are.
Man, if only I didn't have one of those silly ones,
Yeah, that's always how it is, though.
We could be on pay. Yeah, that's true. It's like when you're taking like a group picture.
True. Always gotta have a silly one.
What's your go-to silly face? But actually, you know what? Also, what's your thoughts on putting like the 2-finger bunny ears behind someone's head?
I think it is I think there are worse defaults. But I think it's a little
sense.
I don't think it's very funny.
I'll tell you one thing. When I was 10 years old, maybe younger than that, I didn't like it at all. I'm like, don't do that to me. Of all people, me, the bunny ears, me.
You were already aggressively denying the furry allegations even at that age.
That's right. Whoa. I don't know how I survived that. I'm going to switch it. Yeah. Never even played Pseudo Regalia, dude.
My go-to silly face, I think, is like the like you put your like finger in like the L formation on your chin, and you get that like serious face where you like purse your lips.
Oh, sure. I'm with you. You're like this. I thought you were going to be like finger in an L on her forehead.
No, like, that would be
like Smash Mouth.
Childish.
Oh, I see.
And immature. And I am.
Well, the years start coming and they don't stop coming. All right, this one is also scary, but we'll probably be fine. Oh, whoops! I don't like to do that. Oh my gosh! Oh no!
This level is very scary.
Very scary. Going up and then half of going down is scary, but oh no, I should be fine here. You can land and then like get it to where you're underneath that block at the end, and then it's just kind of like a little bit of random chance, and we get to unlock Steve from Minecraft.
Let's go!
Steve from Minecraft doesn't do anything in this.
What do you mean? Wait, what do you mean?
I just
that character is from Super Smash Bros.
Oh, that's true from Super Smash Bros.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's insensitive.
That's correct.
I'll let it slide this time though.
You know, I actually have not played Smash Ultimate since like, I don't know. I bought like the DLC 2-pack. So at some point in between when you could buy the DLC 2-pack and when they released Steve, because I have not played it since.
I'm seeing actually a really, really fantastic comment in the chat here. Bunny ears are the A1 steak sauce of gestures.
That's what I've been saying that for years.
It's the perfect analogy for
That
today's
is
show.
that is
Oh, nice.
fantastic connection. Oh, glitch girl action.
Right away, Glitch Girl. All right, and so that'll get us. This is actually a really difficult glitch level. Most of the glitch levels are whatever. You're not worried about it. This one has a really scary jump in it. It's just like precise, and you can practice it, but you're never going to get 100% consistent in it. Just with, you know, how much precision you have over the movement. Sometimes you'll just jump a little bit more, or you'll like be a little bit more to the right than normal, and you just go super fast. But right here we have to do just this like really scary jump. We got it. It's not that hard, but you're just moving so fast. It's hard to be consistent. Casually, it's really difficult. And then you get used to it a little bit. And then in speedruns, I'm not super worried about it, but you still get deaths there. And we got 100% here.
Beautiful.
So we're going to end up going here to Dark End. And I'm going to do a little bit of a funny route. Normally, I'm just playing through it 1 through 5. But on this one, I'm going to start on level 3 so that I can grind Glitch Girl, which is actually like kind of a slow way to do it. But the reason why I do it is I want to finish this run on like the final credits, because I think that is more of like a cathartic experience.
It's also
rather than
because
finishing it.
It's Wednesday, which is the third day.
That's true. It's Wednesday, my dudes. Let's go remember that meme. Whatever
Frogs
happened
in
to that
chat.
frog?
Yeah, I do remember that meme. Do you remember Discount Double Check?
No.
What?
No.
What? No.
Did you say discount Belichick? Like
Discount Double Check
double check?
Oh.
No.
with Aaron Rodgers. You remember this?
You're gonna have to post it for
I don't.
us.
At least it was NFL related, so it's kind of close.
Yeah, you were like, yeah, you misheard me in like a correct way, which was strange, but good. It was like it's like an insurance. It was like you might want to discount double check that. I don't know.
Oh, I do. I don't
Yeah.
remember that as being like a meme, but I do remember those commercials.
Maybe it was only significant to me. Who knows? But it's never really
Maybe.
left my mind. I don't know.
What was that for? Was that like an insurance commercial?
It was some insurance, I think.
It sounds like it would be. They're obsessed with discounts, dude. Let me tell you. All right, a lot of saws in this place. Only 5. Oh, is that Glitch Girl I hear?
What?
That is. I do hear
Oh,
Glitch
wow.
Girl. If that's oh, actually, you know what? This is kind of not good.
Oh, is it gonna wrong warp you?
No, I just. Oh no, I didn't hear Glitch Girl. I am. I don't know, but that was not Glitch Girl. I could swear that I heard it. That's what happens when you play too much Meeple. You start hearing things. Anyways, my cycles were wrong there, so I kind of winged it. I don't know. What is the past tense of
I kind of
Wing it.
liked Wong.
wung it? Okay.
That wasn't bad.
Yeah, I wung it.
You could say like yeah, I think I will say with Wong.
Yeah, I think it's wung. If it's not, I'm gonna send an email to the Merriam-Webster.
Did you? Okay. Did you know? You probably did. Probably everybody knows this. It's probably something that only I didn't know. But I thought Merriam-Webster was like a woman. But it turns out Merriam and Webster are the last names of 2 dudes.
It'll always no. She'll be my goat. Merriam-Webster is always. She'll be my goat forever.
Right? Like.
Did you know that? I think it was they added speedrun to the dictionary recently. didn't they?
Really? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I feel like that's a long time coming because it's like really people will talk about like speedrunning and whether or not like, oh, it's as popular or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't care about that. But what's very clear is that people just use speedrun in terms of just like,
Yeah. It's,
they use it
for
in like
sure.
a casual context.
Absolutely.
People that they've never played a video game in their life will use speedrun now. It's such a wild thing.
That is true. I definitely
that's
hear
right.
that. I hear that at work sometimes, which is like strange from like older people. But you know,
That's true. If anyone ever said speedrun at my work, I don't know. I'd be
keep
shocked.
it on the down low.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a secret from all the coworkers.
That's right.
Actually, everybody in chat right now is your coworkers.
Oh no!
We're gonna have
And you forgot your
coworkers
pants.
on the YouTube comments at some point.
Yeah. Okay, so the reason I'm grinding for Glitch Girl right now. Oh, there we go. I thought that I had heard it, but after the shenanigans on 6-4 where I embarrassed myself, I didn't want to say anything. There also was like a half second to respond and say a full sentence. So for that's the second reason why I didn't say anything, but mostly because I didn't want to embarrass myself yet again. All right.
I don't know if you've experienced this as well, but I feel like just in the last week and a half, I've been hearing like you know the brain rot slang that's like going around right now. I feel
like skibbity.
Yeah, I feel like
Riz,
just
Ohio.
in the last like week and a half, I've been exposed to that like way more than ever before.
There's like a video that has this like weird meat. Oh my gosh, no, I don't like where I was there. There's like this weird Meat Boy video. It's like in Spanish that actually like, I don't know. I thought the song was kind of catchy, but it's like really weird. It's got like a bunch of like licensed characters just with like weird 3D models. But that's what I think now when I think.
I mean, yeah. I guess I feel like I feel like that sounds like something that I've seen as well.
It's like it's pretty recent. I remember I saw it was like the Team Meat Twitter account like tweeted it out, and I was like, oh, what do we got here? What do we got here? The song was I don't remember the name of the song, so I don't have any like useful information.
Sure.
But
so funny.
If you ever run across it, maybe one day you will, and you'll be like, oh, that's exactly what Fredberg was talking about near the end of his Hotfix Deathless run. Which right now, I believe is tied with world record.
That is correct.
Oh my gosh. Whatever. I forgot. I did an extra jump. Yeah.
It's a good thing this level's not on the timer or anything.
That is true. The next part of this, the escape, is actually like a really difficult section of this run. I actually kind of hate that it's there.
Yeah.
The light version of it is like super easy. But these saws are gonna hit us.
No.
We gotta watch out. Bazinga! Shout out to Justical. All right.
One last bazinga for the road.
Yeah. Okay, that one is scary as a jump because the thing is that if you mess that jump up, it actually there's like a glitch where this song will like continue to play in the background until you like reset the game, and so it's like really annoying. But I could just reset the game there, but still, I don't want to. Okay, there's only a couple tough jumps to go, please. Okay. All right, just a couple more. Right there is the end. And
Let's go! Tied world record!
That's wild.
That is unbelievable.
I need to go back to make sure, because that's wild, actually.
What was the final time, Richard?
5 deaths.
204. Okay. It's matching the PB kind of with the deaths though, huh?
That is, that is tied PB, tied world record. Fewest that's ever been done. I've only done it one time before, so.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah. That went super well.
I know you make this game look like an absolute breeze. How you feeling, Shredbird?
I thought that I was hoping that it was going to be under 10. It's one of those where I don't know, this is the wrong way to look at it, but it's almost like a look back on some of those deaths and be like, how did that even happen? Why did that happen? Why that slide? What a stupid slide. I've never slid like that before in Dark Hospital. 2 deaths in Dark Hospital, you know what I mean? But maybe I would have ended up getting more nervous if I didn't, you know what I mean? You can't, we think about in speedrunning and in life in a lot of ways. You think about things that you're like, I would have done this differently, but you assume everything else would be the same, but you can't assume that, you know what I mean? Like, what if I saw attack earlier there and saw all the songs? Maybe somebody's like doing the windmill, they're moshing, and it hits me in the face, and I get like a, hit in the eye. That would have hurt. Wouldn't have had a good time then. So
somehow I feel there's more to the story for the Warp Tour. Shredberg, if you're willing to stick with us, we might take a quick break and come right back.
Sounds good. Yeah.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Games Done Quick Hotfix. I'm your host, Smooth Operative, and you are watching Challenger Approaching. We are here with Fel and our runner Shredberg, who just tied his world record for 106% deathless. And you know what? We're going for gold on a bonus run with Super Meat Boy any percent deathless. Shredberg, are you up for the challenge?
I'm ready. Let's do this. This one has a. I'm confident we got it. Deathless.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's do it.
This. All right, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So any percent's going to be much shorter. The big thing that, for obvious reasons, it's not 100%. We want to beat 17 levels in order to unlock the boss. We don't need to grab any warp zones. We don't need to. No frills on this one. It's just get by it. It's called any percent, but whoops! I almost grabbed the bandage. It's really any percent, no major glitches. There's a major glitch category that takes about 5 minutes, and that one you can do deathless like very easy. But this one is any percent, no major glitches, just called any percent, where you got to do 17 levels on the first 5 chapters, then go and beat the boss in the end. This one has been done by many people. My actual, like my any percent speedrun PB of 1737 is like the fastest that I'm aware of, unless like Warple got like a 1735 that was deathless, but I think he said that he's never gotten a deathless any percent run. But yeah, 1737 I believe is the fastest time that's ever been done. Right now I'm not gonna go for that because that's my speedrun PB. I'm not gonna beat that right now. I'm not even like fully derusted for it. But that is, I believe, technically the fastest, the any percent deathless world record. And so, I guess I'm not doing the normal any percent route. That's fine. Doesn't matter all that much. This level's honestly probably easier anyways.
Yeah, I guess that's funny to think about optimizing which levels would be easier for any percent instead of just like the route you're used to.
Yeah, which I'm kind of used to not doing it. But yeah, you only need to beat 17 levels, so that leaves 3 on the board, which is honestly really nice because there's some challenging levels in any percent, and being able to, or not in any percent, but in the light levels, I guess, and being able to skip a few is really nice. So right now we're already through forests. That one's a really straightforward, easy one where shouldn't be an issue. Really where it starts to come in to be an issue is like Salt Factory, Hell, Rapture. Those ones have a lot of stuff going on.
Except for the fact that there is no issues.
That's correct. I might skip 2-2 on this one, actually. Thinking about it right now.
Some funny on the fly routing.
Yeah,
Oh, 2-2 is 2-2 the fall?
Yeah. It's really not bad. It's just kind of like, why would I do it?
Yeah.
I was doing some any percent deathless like attempts also just like a week or 2 ago just for fun, and it was like, I don't know, randomly that would come across to where that like would trip me up, and so I was like, man, it's also so early in the run where it just feels a little bit disappointing. So I guess I need to, humility is something that's good with deathless attempts. Like right here, I do an auto jump there, but you can actually get a little, like, it's not a slide because you jump off of it, but it's called a hop, where you'll hit a wall and then you will do a much smaller jump than a normal jump off of the wall. And if you hold on auto jump, you can get it on that level and it will like immediately kill you. I learned the other day, you can actually get that, not just by auto jumping, but if you're very, very precise, you can get that hop just doing a normal jump. So that was a fun one that killed a 106 deathless attempt, but now I have learned my lesson to just be a little bit more careful.
Do you think that the game on itch.io, Hop Slide, is named after Super Meat Boy tech?
I don't know what game you're talking about, but absolutely 100%.
Yeah, I think that's probably safe to say. It's a good game. I think you'd like it.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
Puzzle platforming action.
Oh boy, I like me some puzzle platforming. What I am going to have to remember here is, as I'm doing 17 levels, in the speed run, we just do 1 through 17, because that does end up being the fastest, kind of coincidentally. But in this, we don't necessarily care about the time all that much, at least in this setting. I just want to get it consistently, so it's going to be extra careful. That one you have to sort of go around it. If you just fall straight down, there's like, if you're too slow, there's a chance that you... Oh, I got to exit to map this. I don't have any characters. This has like a half block wall that you can like jump off of, but if you do... Which, I guess I should explain what that is. Are you kidding me? I'm so stupid, dude.
That's a tragic one.
Whatever. All right, we'll get it in one.
That's the last one. You heard it here, folks.
What happened there was that in the dark version, you actually have much more time. Like, it gives you the laser's on there for less time. So I timed it as if it was the dark one, but that laser's on there just longer on the light version. And so I timed it wrong. That is why you always need consistent strats, and that's why I grabbed the bandage on the second one, because I was like, you know what? That's what I'm used to right now. You know, don't go chasing waterfalls. Stick to the rivers and the streams that you're used to. Yep.
I'm going to say the same thing.
Speaking of, I think that this is correct. Speaking of Dumb and Dumber.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not Dumb and Dumber. Sorry, I'm getting the mix. Full House. You know the friend, right? Not
Kimmy. Right?
Sure. I don't know the name. The blonde guy. It's about that song's about. Or no Scrubs is about him. Speaking of TLC, not No Waterfalls, but that song by TLC, No Scrubs, is about him. Would never have guessed that. That's wild to me. I think there's also another song about him, like the most like random dude to have like multiple songs about them.
That is fascinating fact.
And you know this to be fact, Shredberg.
I would say my confidence is like 80%. I probably saw it like on TikTok or something, which probably not reliable. But Bree said true in the chat, so it's got to be true.
Yeah.
I trust Bree with...
If there's anything, if there's anybody out here I trust, it's Bree 12 a.m.
That's right. All right. With Salt Factory, I think we'll try some like fun... Maybe we'll try one fun skip, actually. I was just thinking of the slide strat going on. I was thinking some other ones, and I'm like, no, actually, never mind. I'll just die. I'm supposed to have I must have jumped or something, but okay, whatever. I was supposed to have storage there, which is, of course, when you end a level and you end on the ground, it's supposed to, the very first frame, remember that you're on the ground. And so you can auto jump off of what should be the ground because you start off slightly in the air. I thought that I was going to have that, but then I didn't, and so it scared me. I think... okay, we're going to try a slide strat here. Let's go.
Let's go.
That strat is frame perfect. So you do like the setup for it is when I'm pausing, it's not actually auto jump on there. I'm actually pausing to grab like my secondary shift, like sprint button. And so when you're holding down, I think I have it bound to shift on the keyboard onto my controller. When you pause and unpause and you're holding that button, you actually you stop sprinting on that frame that you unpause. And so that gives you the perfect momentum to when you hit that conveyor. If you hit it that very first frame, you'll just slide up. And so normally what you do is you have to get like down low enough and sort of set it up. But you basically just, I don't know, you shoot way up, go all the way across to the end, save like I think 4 seconds compared to like the normal strat, and like compared to the other faster strat, like 1.5 seconds. It is frame perfect, but it also is, I don't know. It kind of is one of those things where that's the only difficult part about it is just pressing the button on the one frame, which if you were to tell me, but like before I got into speedrunning, like, oh, you could probably get a frame perfect trick like 70% of the time, I'd be like, no. Do you know what a frame is? That's like 0.2, that's less than 0.2 seconds, or 0.02, excuse me. There's absolutely zero chance I could get that. Like I'd watch like these marathon runs where people would be like, oh, it's a frame perfect trick. And I'd be like, wow.
Okay.
These people.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But it turns out actually that if you practice and try your hardest, you can do anything. You know what I mean?
It is funny, the perspective change, because like when you hear like 3 frames now, you're like not really that worried about it.
Yeah.
But like,
I mean, 3 frames, that's nothing. You know
3
what I mean?
frames to the layman though, I mean, that's
Like I'm watching a basketball game, right? And they're just like, oh, they only have 0.4 seconds to get a shot off here. And I'm
You're
like,
like,
dude,
that's so many frames.
Literally, that's 24 frames.
Yes.
Like, do you know how easy that is
free
to
that
get? Yeah. These announcers have no idea. Oh my, okay. So here's what happened there. That was me pausing the game, and you don't even need to do that pause glitch that I talked about. If you pause and something's off screen, it will cause you to die. Like, it just has to be off screen on some of these. So I would recommend never pausing the game on anything that is cycle based. Lesson for myself. Am I going to die more on this one than the entire like 106?
That would be so awesome.
You heard it here first. Any percent is harder than 106.
Well, you mentioned you were a little rusty on this category, no?
I
Just
am.
say yes. Just say yes.
Yeah, I'm very rusty on this one.
Gotcha.
I could not be rustier. I'm just going to do the any percent one on this. I don't like that one with Meat Boy. It is just weird going in your brain going from like 106 to any percent on stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like especially me, I don't know, maybe other speedrunners, I feel like I'll watch them and they will not have this issue. They'll like, oh, I'm going to do this category. And then they'll go and do a completely different category and they'll be like on the top of their game each time. But I feel like if I swap categories, I have to do a run at least like 2 times in order to like really get the juices into it, the brain juices. Yeah. And then once I got those brain juices, they're fine. But really just some unfortunate luck there.
People that could always just go back and forth between like, especially like collectible categories versus like 80% in games, just like seamlessly, always like blew my mind.
Whenever I play 106 a bunch and then I watch, most people who play this game and stream will do any percent. Oh my gosh. I'll always be like, oh my gosh, you forgot the bandage there. And then I have to be like, oh, that's right. You don't even care about those.
Yeah. Well, even now, me watching you miss that bandage right after we talk about that gave me like a small moment of panic, you know?
Yeah. It happens. Okay, let's see. Whoa. Yeah, for one thing that's also nice about 106 is because we use different characters, it does give us like more room to like do skips of hard parts of levels. But because we're not technically locked into Meat Boy for this, you could get more bandages and unlock more characters and all of that stuff. But that's not easier. Like, there's no way. So you're basically locked into Meat Boy. I mean, you could technically unlock one of like the character levels. I shouldn't have gone under the laser. It's honestly, if you want like a fun Meat Boy skip to do that's like kind of hard but not that bad, this skip at the very beginning of it, and you can also do it at the end. Oh, I didn't know it disappeared on the replay. Is pretty fun to do, and it's not that precise. Oh, I need to go from the map. You just have to worry about not over jumping it, because if you under jump it, you just sort of like run into the wall and you're fine. The laser's not going to get you because you're going to fall down. Oh, that's right. I'm doing the regular any percent route. All right, what do we got here? Oh yeah, that's the hive. This is a level that yesterday I was like deathless going into this in 106 deathless. I didn't even consider the fact that I could take a death there, and I did. And now I'm going to think about that for like another, I don't know, probably at least another night, maybe tonight. Get get my beauty rest.
You're definitely gonna wake up like.
That's the first thing. My alarm goes off. I turn it off and be like,
yeah.
Oh, I did an extra level. I hope you guys liked it. Bonus level for you guys.
I liked it.
Thank you.
You're
That was
welcome.
very good.
Just a little extra treat for you.
Yeah. We're going to do this cool little horn again. Which is cool. Again, so we're doing a trick where when you pause the game, you say exit, it'll try to confirm and you say no. Once you go back to the pause menu, there's certain animations that'll go on in the background. And one of those animations just ends up being the fist for this one. So it's nice. The way that a lot of people try to cheese it is doing a jump. Like you can see the edges there. There's like a little bit of room for you to keep jumping there. And in theory, that's nice, but it's actually really difficult. And I could understand how they wouldn't know that you can just stand in this literal location. It's not very obvious. Plus, it looks like these zombie boys that are on fire as they're falling down will hit you. But if you're standing there, it never does. I'm not entirely sure if it has just like, I don't know why it never spawns there. Maybe it just, there's different locations that it had RNG calls for and it never assigned it there. But you just stand there, you jump, or better yet, you do that little glitch and you're there. I think on the newest version, it won't do that. So you do have to be on...
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know they fixed it.
I believe that they did because you can't do timer glitch like that anymore. So I assume because it's doing that it's fixing it. But there's a chance. I haven't done that much time on it's 1.2.5 is the name of the version of it. So I don't have that much time on it. All right, gonna do a little skip there. The hard part of that is like all of the stuff over to the right. And so if we do that, like careful jumps over there. Oh my gosh, I almost stopped to grab the bandage, but Meat Boy cannot get, actually Meat Boy can get that bandage, but you have to like go back and forth. All right, going through here, and I believe, yeah, that's right. I am doing 2 through 18. So we need to do 17 levels again. And 19 and 20 are not, those are not smart ones to do. 19 is not that bad. Honestly, 20 is not too bad either, but the only one I'd want to skip really is this one. Not even because it's hard, but we had a death on the dark version of that level. Of the 5 deaths that I just got on that 106 run, like I got a slide on one of those dark hospital levels. Mad about that one. And then the dark version of this one, I had one. I'm less mad about it because it was like 100% entirely my fault. Like simply just like don't run into the saw blade. But you know, most of the time I don't do that. And we could have gotten like yeah, exactly. We could have gotten an untied world record, but that's okay.
Now, I'm kind of curious, Shredberg, are you planning on doing more 106% challenges in the future?
I mean, I'm going for the 106 Deathless, like until I get Deathless. I've been streaming it like many times a week as well. So if you want to see 106 Deathless going up, those challenges as I get closer and closer, make sure to follow me on Twitch.
Absolutely. Twitch.tv/Shredberg. It is pinned at the top of the Twitch chat. So no excuses. Follow Shredberg.
Is it also at shredberg.com? Is that correct?
That is true. You can just go to Shredberg. If you ever forget, twitch.tv/Shredberg. You're like, what was it again?
Very easy to
Shredberg.com.
Shredberg.
Yeah, it's way easier to remember Shredberg.com.
I'm checking this out immediately.
I don't have a, like, what is it? The HTTPS. It's just the HTTP. So it might actually say that this is like dangerous, but it just,
oh my gosh.
As a spoiler, it just does redirect you to my Twitch page.
Oh yeah, it took a while, but it totally redirects you. That's funny.
Yeah. Maybe one day there will be like an actual like splash page. Make it look like, have you ever seen the like Space Jam website splash page? Like make it look like that, you know what I mean? Or like the Breaking Bad, you know, the page that Walt Jr. makes for like donate to help my dad, you know, make it look like that. You know, just some sort of old school, very like, it's almost like it takes more work these days to make it look like that than it is to make it look good.
It's funny, I never saw Space Jam, really.
You never noticed how Space Jam what?
No, I never saw that movie.
Oh, it's not worth it. It's
The first one or
Any of it.
anyone? There's two,
I mean,
think.
if you haven't watched it as a child, I think that it's a little bit
No,
like
I feel like I missed my window, right?
Yeah.
yeah, it's not
The
it's not
magic
it's not
is
gonna hit.
lost on you.
It's not. Maybe
And, like,
if you're like
it's
a
like-
MJ stan, you're like, no, Michael Jordan's way better than LeBron. It's way better than Space Jam 2. Like, you know,
Yeah.
even the LeBron stans have to admit that Space Jam 1 is better. Like, you know, I don't care. Like it did hurt LeBron's legacy, I think.
I think out of all the basketball movies I could think of, there's like the Air Bud one.
Oh, sure. That's just
Oh
that
my
is
gosh.
literally Air Bud 1.
Yeah.
They might have multiple basketball ones.
I think they probably did.
Probably.
Have
I think I
you-
only saw a basketball and then it was Golden Receiver, which I
Golden
thought was a funny
Receiver.
pun. Yeah.
I mean, the name does half the lifting for that movie, but it's a
Yeah.
great name.
Yeah.
We like puns.
You ever see the one they made about like Air Bud's kids?
No.
What?
Oh, Air
Dude.
Buddies. Air Buddies,
yeah,
right?
They also have
No.
they have
Stop.
snow buddies too. It's so
my
good.
gosh.
Oh my god.
Where they become like
You're not kidding.
the puppies become like sled dog. It's like so awesome.
See, I only know of there's like a who is it? Cuba Gooding Jr. movie like that. Oh my gosh, whatever. I start to go. But yeah, yeah, Space Jam 1 clears 2. Sadly, I'm not even look. I think MJ looked probably better than LeBron. I don't know, but doesn't matter. I went on Twitter in the middle of these runs and I forgot that I said that DeMontis Sabonis was better than Bam Adebayo. And they're flaming me, but chat, you got my back, right? I'm just
we
saying
always
this.
got your back.
Yeah. How many? I don't even know how many triple doubles Bam Adebayo has. Bonus had like 20 something last season. You know what I mean? That's more than Luka Doncic, and no one's saying that Luka Doncic is better. You know what I mean? The defense, his defense is not up there. You know what I mean? Also, I had to. So I promised this to Squealy Zero. Shout out to the White Sox for clearing their 21 game losing streak. I don't know if they won today. They might have like restarted a losing streak, but they did win yesterday. So that was big news for them. So for all of my Chicago White Sox fans out there, I think that who is it? Lively Raccoon, I think, is the only other person that I know is a speedrunner that's a White Sox fan. So I'm sure that that he was happy about that. But maybe you know, he wanted them to keep losing. I know I did.
Let's go.
They did lose. Let's go. They're going against the
That's
A's, so it's
huge.
like I don't know. I don't trust the A's at all. I was really hoping they got to like 27 or something, and they got. You know, I looked at the schedule and it was like A's and then Cubs, and I'm like, oh no, they're winning one of these. I couldn't have. But either way, we're near the end of the run. Just kind of like how the White Sox were at the end of their run of losing.
True.
Oh.
I'm gonna go ahead and do the. No, I'm just gonna do the key skip. I just completely messed it up.
Yeah, as a non-baseball fan, I went to Fenway recently for a concert, and I'm going right next to Fenway tomorrow. And I'm
Nice.
excited to
I
be
s-
in the Fenway air. It's a
I saw
good vibe
that
over
picture
there.
of you. You were like third base side, right behind the plate, and I was like, oh my gosh, these are the best seats I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's just not.
That's
It's
like
not for a baseball
rich.
game.
Yeah. Can you imagine those for a baseball game though? That's
yeah,
like where the
it
like
would've been
owners
perfect.
sit.
Yeah.
All right, this is the end of the run here. Yeah. We're beating this game, the final boss, for the third time tonight here on Any Percent. So this one, 2 deaths. Well, I guess there's still the boss to go, but I would hope not that there's not a death. But
Actually, if you
Pretty
just
decent.
look past it and don't count,
if you count all of the mistakes I made and you just get rid of those, this was the
Yeah.
best run I've ever had in my life. Which I
I think that
Yeah.
if you, I mean, it's just it's like a mental exercise.
that's right, just like
It's like
math.
it's like yoga for the brain. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's a physical exercise. No offense. But I think yoga is a physical exercise.
Not what it's in your brain.
Like, you're imagining doing yoga?
The
mind yoga.
I mean, it's...
I'm just saying, like, chat. Like, yoga is a physical exercise.
I mean, like
yes, 100%
sure,
it is.
you know, but like
106% it is.
That's exactly right.
But
yeah.
but like, there's no physics in your brain. It's just your brain.
That maybe your brain. There's always physics in my brain.
Yeah, you do you do a lot more physics problems than I do on a daily basis.
That's true. You know, you'd think so, but not really. Oh, not really. Sometimes,
although
though.
I have been playing basketball during lunch at work.
That's important for physics. All right, and that's time.
And that's the
It's important for physics, especially you go in that Tim Duncan like bank shot. Got to really think about it. The trig, you know.
Yeah, I mean exactly. Like when I'm lining up for the bounce shot at the free throw line for our game of horse, like there's a lot I gotta think about.
GG,
That's right.
Shredberg.
Thank you. That's is
How are
decent.
you feeling? Yeah, it was. You said 2.
2, yeah. We'll go and
That's
see.
not bad at all.
Not
That's
bad.
pretty impressive for sure.
It is.
Gosh, you know, Shredberg, thank you for doing this bonus run. Also, do you have any shout outs or anything that you want to give before we
yeah.
say goodbye to everyone?
Yeah. Shout out to M Sushi. Shout out to the Meat Boy community. If you want to get started on this one, this is Deathless, which is obviously like a, you know, I mean, this is the show that you're watching is Challenger approaching. So it's a challenge run. You don't need to do that. But if you're into the speed run that can get you into this, join the Speedrun Discord. And, you know, you could always ping me in there if you have any advice for this one, because I've done that a lot. Some fine people, probably shouldn't ping them without permission, but, you know, some people might appreciate it.
You can ping back and tell them I said hi.
You can. That's BAQ, but it is pronounced like BACK. But you can do that. Shout out to back. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Make sure to follow me. You can follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/Shredberg. People have said that I'm funny on there. Somebody also said that I was wrong about Bam Adebayo not being as good as Domantas Sabonis, though. So it's a mixed bag of stuff. So you can go ahead and follow me on there. On Twitch, I think that's the only 2 places to follow me. I've posted a TikTok before. You can do that one. I think it's Z Shredberg on that. Might be Z Shredberg. I don't know. I don't remember when I signed up. But yeah, those are all the places where you can go ahead and follow me. But thanks everybody for watching. And of course, thank you for having me. This was a blast. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Shredberg. Fel, what about you? You have anything left to say to our viewers tonight?
Absolutely. Well, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you, Shredberg, for having me on. It has been a pleasure. That 106 run was so impressive. I'm glad I got to witness it live. Want to give a shout out to Petrus Inc., the famous Plants vs. Zombies speedrunner. Big inspiration for us both. The GOAT for sure. And
Bowser's Inside Story legend.
Yep, Bowser's Inside, Monkey Ball, Celeste, Peggle, the list goes on.
What's that math game?
Cool. Big Brain Academy.
No, it wasn't that. I don't remember the name. It was weird. They showed it to me.
Times Attack. Big Brain Times Attack or something.
Something like it was weird. It was not. It was not a like Big Brain Academy. It's a fun game though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Light the to do is right in the chat. Light the beam, of course. Correct.
That's about all I got.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you both so much for being here. I am really not great at 2D platform games, so seeing you, shred it up, as it were, was pretty epic. So thank you so much for being here. I do want to let everyone know that Games Done Quick Express is going to be returning to TwitchCon from September 20th through the 22nd. So if you're curious about that, you can use the command !GDQX in our Twitch chat for more information. And that is going to be it for tonight's episode of Challenger Approaching. But make sure you stick around for our next show, which is Speedruns from the Crypt. For more hotfix, you can always check out the VODs on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GamesDoneQuick. And if you're watching this on YouTube from the future and you had a good time, hey, leave a nice comment for Shredberg, right? And be sure to press the like button on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I've been your host, Smooth Operative. Thank you all so much again for watching. We'll be right back with Speedruns from the Crypt, so don't go away.